Hello everyone! We did a little live stream over on Twitch and I thought it would be a good idea to upload it to YouTube in case you missed it. Now the problem is the file was over 2 hours and when you reach the 2-hour mark you can't automatically upload it to YouTube anymore. So I had to rip the files, render them, and it turns out that the video is kinda crap. The audio is good, the questions are good, the answers are good, so that's a good thing. So don't mind what you're seeing on the screen. Just focus on what you're hearing. I hope you enjoy it. And until next time, guys. See ya! It works! Hoorah! About time, damn. Now, I'm not sure how exactly this stream is going to hold up. I think it's going to be extremely laggy. But, yeah. We'll see. How is the stream going, guys? Is it any laggy? Nope, no webcam. Holy crap, 91 people. I did not expect so many of you to show up. So how's the stream, guys? How's the audio, the background noise? I think the stream is laggy when I move, yeah? Yeah, okay. But you can hear me alright. The voice is coming through, right? Okay, the voice is alright. Damn. Oh wow, not so fast! Holy snap! Okay, well, before we begin... Oh damn, what's going on? It's loading video again. Ah, there we go. Awesome. This is awesome, guys. But before we begin, let me just explain what I wanted to do, right? Because of the holidays, because of the fireworks in my neighborhood, because of all kinds of things, Christmas and my birthday, I haven't been able to get a video done on Monday. Now, a couple have requested, if that guy could just stop crying, that would be fantastic. If I could do a live stream while... We can talk a little bit about the lore, you can ask me questions and whatnot, so that could be perfect. Now I have one question already sent in by someone who may or may not make it to the stream, so I wanted to get that question out. Is, what do you think would be Durotan's reaction to meeting Thrall and Thrall's reaction to Durotan? What of Garrosh to Grom and vice versa? I think Durotan is going to be surprised that his son is green. Like, what the hell, only Gul'dan is going to be green, so I think there's going to be a little bit of trouble with that. I think Grom Hellscream is going to be a douche towards his son, which is going to shatter his fatherly dreams. And yeah, in the end, Thrall is of course going to make amends with his buddy father. And holy crap, 400 people! Awesome, so yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to react. Jeez, guys, hello everyone. I'm just going to slow down chat for a moment, because this is something I can't keep up with. Oh boy, hang on. Ah, there we go. Alright. Well, I'm just gonna answer questions real quickly. Where do I leave my question to Nobbel? You can do it in the chat room. I am going to do a compilation with Danger Dolan that's going to be released coming Saturday, and we've got a couple of episodes where we're going to talk about the state of the game, we're going to talk about LFR, the changes that they made, we're going to talk about Warlords of Draenor, and we're going to talk a little bit about the lore. So we're going to do that. Is there any potential for more Titan lore? Slow down! Jesus. This is too much! Oh, damn. I am on Tedakar right now, yes. What race class are you gonna choose for Let's Play? Ah, that would be spoiling. You'll have to find out Friday? Maybe the week after that? Do I have a girlfriend? I do not. Can you drop your in-game sound a bit, Nobbel? I can do that. Yep. You know what? I'm gonna move myself to Stormwind for a moment so that you have something interesting to look at, except for this little Shafra screen. I don't want to teleport to the main city of Pandaria because that lags. I'm just gonna stop moving before everything breaks again. I'll just hang out here. That's fine. What do you think about the Knights of the Ebonblade? I like them. Do you think they may be in the game with a somewhat large role in the game? Knights of the Ebonblade were very Wrath the Lich King-y, and they've kind of played their part, to be honest. I mean, how are you going to reintroduce a faction that's been built up to take out the Lich King? I mean, they've done their mission. The one way that I could see it happening is that, what do you call it? Is that they make a return of the Lich King with maybe a Bolvar or a Sylvanas or whatnot. So that's possible. But other than that, it's really hard to get them back into the story again. If human and orcs were to mate, what do you think would happen? Well, fun fact, Corona Half Orcan in her origin story was actually made out of humans and orcs. They later changed that into Draenei, but yeah, something like that would happen. Is the Lich King made by Sargeras? The Lich King was made by Kil'jaeden. As Ner'zhul, in his quest for making new portals to different worlds, he stepped through one portal and he thought he was going to be going to the Promised Land. Instead he ended up in front of Kil'jaeden. Kil'jaeden tortured him for a little while and then turned him into the crystal that we know as the Lich King. Request for videos, as in I'm getting one. Nobbel wants to make a video about Rune Totem Hamul. I would love to do every one of them, and over the years I'm probably going to do every one of them. It just takes a little bit of time as to when and what I can do. I'm not going to put in a webcam for the stream, guys. Nope. Was it Medan half orc, half human? No. Well, kinda. He's like a quarter human, quarter orc, quarter Draenei? Something like that. Oh, hello Nobbel. I have a question about the Torren religion as the Earth Mother. So who do you think the Earth Mother is? A Titan or anything else? And the Torren doesn't take more resource from the Earth. Oh, it's going too fast. They're what they need. How does the war against the Alliance and being a part of the Horde affect that, do you think? Huge greeting from Sweden and Happy New Year. Happy New Year! Who's the Earth Mother? Well, that's a good question. And I think the Earth Mother philosophy from the Torren is taken from early human philosophy, where all the children came from the earth and the mother was worshipped as a beautiful female and stuff like that. If you ever want to read about that, you should check out, I think the English title is called Children of the Earth. The Dutch title is De Aardkinderen. It's a beautiful series if you ever want to read it. So I think that philosophy is copied from that one. And otherwise you could always link it to Fedazane the Stone Mother, although the Torren have met her and they don't recognize her as the Earth Mother. So she is probably more in the trend of a loon, as in you worship that deity, I'll worship that one. And how do the Torren conflict within the Horde? Well, that's a good question. I mean, Torren have a hard time within the Horde, especially under Garrosh. I mean, with Thrall it was kinda alright, you know, Thrall was buddy-buddy, was cool to the earth and the shaman. But Garrosh wanted to take everything. So there was a lot of conflict with that, but now with Vol'jin, they're buddy-buddy again probably. So yeah. Hey, lots of people said that the old gods will win against Sargeras. What if he sucked all their powers instead of killing them off? Yeah, what if? But that's the question, that comes up time and time again. Does the Burning Legion and Sargeras know about the old gods? And so far as I know, they don't. The old gods know about the Burning Legion. Sargeras and the Burning Legion do not know about the old gods. Nobbel, do you roleplay? And what do you think about roleplay in World of Warcraft? Love your videos, Dutch too. I don't roleplay. I've never done roleplay before. I mean, I could make up a story for my character, but I've just never been into the roleplay server. And what do I think of role-playing? I was talking to Silver Latomi the other day, and she role-plays, and she has this beautiful story behind her character. And that was awesome. She could be really creative with what she's doing. What I've seen from the forums is that people are very negative towards each other, right? They criticize each other's stories, they put each other down because they don't like each other's story, and that kind of sucks, because if you're going to roleplay, you should be creative and people shouldn't put you down. So yeah, I think it could be awesome, but it was just never for me. And I know that's kind of surprising for someone who's so into the lore, but yeah. Any potential for more Titan lore in Warlords of Draenor? Yes, there is. I believe it was Dave Kozak. They asked this at BlizzCon in the Q&A. And he said that we will see Titan influence. There will always be a little bit of Titan touchy here and there. So we'll have to wait and find out. But there is potential. Nobbel, do you know what happened to the Cult of the Damned? Did they die out or something? From the top of my head, I can't tell you. I don't know. I would have to wiki it. The Cult of the Damned is of course the one that followed Ner'zhul. So... yeah, I don't know. Didn't they help him out in Wrath of the Lich King in Northrend? Yeah, I think that's what they did. So probably when we defeated the Lich King, and when Bolvar took place, he probably also took control over the Damned, I think. I don't know. Are you bald? No, but I am balding. I have a personal question. What do you like on pizza? Pizza is always good, but 4 cheeses is pretty damn awesome. Do you think that the Ashbringer or even Tyrion Fordring will make a return in Warlords of Draenor, or maybe a later expec? Greetings from Sweden. That's kind of the same category as the Death Knights, Knights of the. It was a Wrath of the Lich King story, and the Ashbringer kind of fulfilled its destiny when it shattered Frostmourne in the hands of Tyrion Fordring. Will we see it ever back into the story? It's possible if the Scourge ever rises again, maybe with a Sylvanas, that's possible. But then again, there are also rumors that the Ashbringer was created out of a Naru. So maybe we'll see a little bit about that. I know that Naru are in the story in Warlords of Draenor, so we might see that. Christ, over 1,000 viewers. Greetings, everyone. Damn. How long does it take to make an average length video? 48 to 72 hours, on average. Can we see your face? I have a Christmas greeting video where my face is in. I've been on the Final Boss podcast. I have pictures on Facebook. My face is all over the web. I'm playing on Tedakar AU. If you check out my WoW videos, the first 5 seconds in the introduction, you see where my main character is. Okay guys, chill, relax, I can't keep up. Hello everyone. Do you have any specific plans on what to use your free Draenor 90 on? And if so, why that class race combo? I have no idea. I was thinking of maybe moving one character to a more populated realm and see if I can maybe find a good raiding guild and do something with that. Because Tedakar is pretty dead, have to admit. So I might do that, but otherwise just level up a character that I haven't gone to 90 yet. Do you think Titans are dead when the last old god was killed? I don't think so. As far as we know in the lore, there was only one Titan killed and one Titan fell. And that's from the Prophecy of Cthulhu. Now, back then, that was in Classic when they introduced that story. We all thought that it was Cthulhu, and Cthulhu was left for dead in the desert. He crawled back to Ankirai, where he gathered his forces, and he took revenge. Later we found out that it was actually Yasharaj who was killed. So, you have to wonder how much of that story is still true, and you have to wonder what happens. I don't think the Titans were killed by the old gods, but they might have been killed by something else. If you remember Rephion's speech, "We have fallen," I have a sneaky suspicion that the Pantheon is down, that the Titan race is down, and that at some point we're going to figure out, okay, we're on our own. We need to do something about this. What do you think about the Belgian accent or dialect? Amai manneske. Oh, can I do Belgium? Maybe I can do Urbanus. Amai. Wawachertje. Dag meneer Spaghetti. I love the Belgium accent, man. I believe Affine is from Belgium actually, and he's a kind of peculiar English accent, but Belgium overall, as long as I can understand it, sure. I know, well, wouldn't you like to work at Blizzard to actually help making the lore? I would. That would be awesome. So, if they ever want to offer the job. Did you ever think to become so popular when you made your channel? Also, hello, I did not. I never expected this. And it's incredibly humbling. It's awesome. And it's incredible. I hope it's going to continue. And anything... It's already blown my mind. You gotta understand that I just started this out of a hobby and for the fun of it. And I'm still doing it as the hobby and the fun of it. But now we have an audience. So, it's incredible, my friend. And yeah, I hope you all enjoy the videos as much as I enjoy making them. What do you think about Vol'jin as Warchief? Is he going to be well? Please answer me, smiley face. I've read Shadows of the Horde. And if you've read that book, Vol'jin is awesome. Vol'jin really is a badass, and I like that he kinda has connections to the Alliance. Not too much, he's still Horde, of course, but he was also wise enough to let the Alliance in when it was needed. So I think they can go many directions with Vol'jin. And if you've read that story, the Loa of the Dead, Zwambi, I think he's called Zwambi, told Vol'jin that the victory earned is going to grind him into dust. And I wonder when that moment is going to come. I'm not going to open links in the chat, guys. I need to keep the chat open. So I'm not going to open links. And I'm doing fantastic. I love that so many people of you showed up. It's incredible. Who do you think will be the next faction leader to turn into an antagonist if one will? Jaina or Sylvanas? From both sides. Those are the most likely. Hey! Oh, not so big and not so fast. Hey, do you like that so many people write Nobbel instead of Nobbel? I don't care, mate. They can write it any way they want. Can you tell me something about the lore of Rexxar? I have a video up on the lore of Rexxar if you want to check it out. Hello, Nobbel. What do you think about Medivh being the last boss, being the final boss of World of Draenor? Okay, and then your question was gone. Medivh? Medivh as the last boss? I would love to see Medivh back into the story. I did a Karazhan speculation video the other day, as in how could they bring Karazhan back into the story, but there was also an article on MMO Champion that said that they're not going to do it, that they tried to do it, but apparently it wasn't possible. So that's a bit of a shame. Medivh is one of the most badass characters, so I would love to see him in some way or form back into the story. But as a boss, yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's always been portrayed as this uber power, this uber mage, so how do you defeat something like that? Oh, dang on, there goes my friend. Okay, cool. Next question. Who currently holds Stromgarde, Horde or Alliance? I believe... Ooh, I would have to check that one, so don't quote me on this, but I believe the plan is to put Stromgarde back into Alliance hands. But I'm not 100% sure. Nobbel, check your whispers in game. Nope, no time. Grommash Hellscream was confirmed as the final boss of Warlords of Draenor. What do you think of that? I think it was trolling. The guy who asked it was being a gigantic douche as he was asking the question. And if you're being a gigantic douche, then you should get trolled. And that's, in my opinion, exactly what happened. I don't think Grom is going to be the end boss. Are you going to play Zelda Wind Waker after you've done with Majora's Mask? Well, we got the Wii U now with the remake of the Wind Waker. So, I might buy the device that allows me to record it. We do have to be careful, of course, with all the new copyright stuff going on YouTube. But, yeah, would be cool. The original Wind Waker wasn't my favorite. I thought there was too much sailing in it, too much feeding of the fish. But apparently they streamlined it, so... yeah, maybe. Do you have any clue or superstition about island of Tel Abyb. I've talked about Tel Abyb in my speculation video for a possible, what do you call it? A possible Dark Below expansion. But apparently they went on with a different route. I still believe that once we return to the Naga story one day, that we're going to see, what do you call it? We're going to see those islands. There's a bear sitting in front of me. Hello, guys. Yeah, once again, chat room request. You can send me request any way you like. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, whatever you want. I'm not taking requests right now in the chat room because I can't copy and paste them fast enough. And I've done the chat in slow mode. It should be in slow mode now, so let me see. It's in slow mode, right? Yeah, this is slow mode, my friend. There are just too many people. Why can't orcs be paladins? Because orcs don't use the light. Hi guys, in front of me, hello. To keep it a little bit balanced, I believe, they want to make or keep paladins a little bit special. So I believe there are only currently 2 races who can do it. Yeah, I'm just gonna turn in-game sound off because this is getting annoying. There we go. Okay, what next? Hey, you love paladin? I love paladin. I'm from the Netherlands. What do you think of light in Warcraft? I just read an interesting article on Wowhead about it, and I didn't know that there, your question was gone. The light is an incredibly interesting subject, and it deserves a video. Where's my music sound? Is there no more music in WoW? What the hell? Well, apparently everything is off. Okay. Yeah, the problem is I wanted to play some music in the background, but yeah. I'm wondering, are they gonna follow me? Yeah, they're gonna follow me. Alright, hello guys. Then we're just gonna keep it nice and quiet. But anyways, the light is a beautiful subject which deserves its own video. And especially with Warlords of Draenor, they're going to continue the light story with the Naru and the Draenei. And I hope they're going to make it a whole bunch more interesting. And interesting enough is that the light, it started out as a religious thing, right? For the humans, if you prayed, if you studied it, the light would come. Later they changed it to a conviction thing, as in, if you believe in the light will answer you, as we've seen with Arthas in the Calling of Stratholme. There he wasn't too sure about his devotion to the cause, about his decision to kill everybody, so the light started to flicker, and it didn't come to him. So that's kind of cool how that transformation from religion to conviction started, and I hope they'll continue the story. Nobbel, do you see the new leaked racials for Warlords of Draenor? It's over in the forum section. I have not checked it out yet. So I should. Do you watch any other lore channels on YouTube? Now that's a good question. I know of a couple of them, but I try to avoid them to keep my content fresh. Whenever I make a video, I don't want someone saying like, hey, you took that from Didi Guides, or hey, you took that from Bellular Gaming or whatnot. No, I want to keep my own mind fresh, and sometimes when I'm looking for a different opinion on something, I'll check out other people their lore videos. But other than that, I stick to my own stuff. What happens if you take item the Skull of Gul'dan to the NPC Gul'dan in Warlords of Draenor? Mind blown. Hey Gul'dan, this is your skull. Yep, that's a whole bunch of time travel nonsense that they are going to introduce. Hey Nobbel, do you think that the events of Mob hint that Azeroth is a big Titan factory and that's why it's so important and powerful? Greetings from the old holy land Israel. There's been a bunch of speculation on that, and it's possible, especially if you look at Northrend, for example. There's a whole bunch of titanic devices in that area. And then there's a Titan buried away somewhere, and we need to rebuild it and stuff like that. And I believe the speculation was that Azeroth was actually a Titan egg. And we are like the white cells that need to kill off any infections, kill off any diseases like Old Gods and Burning Legion and all that good stuff. So, yeah, it's speculation. And we'll have to wait where they want to take the Titan story. But sometimes I get the feeling that even Blizzard doesn't know what they want to do with the story. Like, if you take, for example, Yashiraj and the Seventh Shah. First it was, no, we won't see a Seventh Shah. And then it was, yes, we will see a Seventh Shah. Then it was, Yashiraj is killed. And then it was only a heart left. And then it was absorbed. And who knows what they're doing with it. So yeah. Do you think that we'll meet the Titans in Warlords of Draenor? I don't think so. I think they're going to keep the Titans in the shadows as long as they can. What do you think will be the next step for the Black Prince? Well, they said that he won't play such a prominent role in Warlords of Draenor. So, I don't think we will see much of him. Maybe when we return from Warlords of Draenor and he's just waiting at the Dark Portal like, geez guys, took you long enough, now let's go kill the Burning Legion, you know, they're here. Your cities are in ruins because you had to go off in a time travel expansion. Maybe that's going to happen. Oh god, it's Nobbel Chavan Jenkins. Check this out. Look at him. How did you even make it up here? Hello everyone, it's Shafra, welcome. Oh, by the way, chat room, I'm doing my best to get all your questions done. And I'm doing my best here. It's a one-man show, yeah? I hope you don't get banned because of all these people. Well, I haven't invited these people, so it's not my fault that they show up. I mean, I haven't sent out any promotion. And if they do, I'll fight it tooth and nail. Hey Nobbel, do you think that we will kill off Gul'dan or Ner'zhul on Warlords of Draenor? I know that we're fighting Ner'zhul in the starting area. And I hope that we get to kill Gul'dan. That would be sweet. But we'll have to wait and see. Do you think Varian Rin will die soon in-game? And who do you think will kill him? No king rules forever, my son. And if you look at the Rin family, they die from assassination attempts, I believe. Or they just die at a very early age. So, yeah, who's to kill Varian? That's a very good question. I don't know if he's even going to die. I don't see him growing at a ripe old age, of course. But who would kill him? That's a good question. Garrosh. Or Garona. Yes, Warlords of Draenor, where Garona. And then Gul'dan, he knows her keyword, her spell on her mind. And then he just turns her all against us. Oh, I'm sorry. Hey Nobbel, you said your English was bad. I don't remember it being bad, but you improved a lot for sure. Yeah, my two main things that I'm still working on is my rolling R, that sometimes pops up, and the TH sound, which is, like for example in Thrall, I have such a hard time with making that syllable. It's incredible. So I'm working on it and I hope it will improve. But then again, I wish I could just reply to those comments and say, okay, I'll work on that word, but can you say words like school, of gedachten, of verlegen? You try to make those words, so yeah. What are your thoughts on Night Elf lore? Are you into it? Night Elf lore got butchered in game. It got so butchered in game. It's incredible. Night Elves used to be a force, right, on their own 2 feet. They lived for 10,000 years. And in comes Wonderboy Varian Rin, who tells Tyrande, be patient. Be patient, Tyrande, we'll get there. What the hell? And the same in Wolfheart, where boy Varian needs to save the Night Elves because they can't defend their own lands. Come on. I know you like humans, but that's taking it a little bit too far. Hey Nobbel, could the succubus be some kind of female Nafrazim? Happy New Year, by the way, keep the rolling R. I would have to check. I think that they have a classification. If you look in the Draenei starting city, there's a tour given there, and they explain about each demon and what they do and yada yada yada. So you'd have to check out there. So yeah. Hey Nobbel, do you think that N'Zoth made Kairos help Garrosh? The good questions of the what ifs. Did N'Zoth help Kairos? I don't think so. I think what Kairos has shown us with those... to be fair, I think it was us who gave Kairos the power to travel through time. You remember the questline we did on the Timeless Isle? I think we gave him the stones and the power that he needed. And now he's like, okay, we're gonna set Garrosh free and we're gonna have a party. I don't even know why he's going to set Garrosh free, but apparently he's going to do it. No, in the novel Stormrage, they show that Hearthstone are extremely rare. Varian almost didn't know about them. So how come that the citizens of Azeroth create a game called after something so rare? Loktarogar from Bulgaria. Well, that's the same with, for example, resurrecting in-game. In lore-wise, it's very rare, and we just push a button and we do it. And the citizens of Azeroth didn't make a game called Hearthstone. We did. And it's just based on the game. It's the same with Blizzard's new Dota, Heroes of the Storm. I mean, there you see, what's she called? Diablo and the Lich King and Nova, I think she's called, all come together and fight each other. I mean, that implies that the realities are linked together. But as far as I know, they're not. Do you think we will see Bolvar again? Possibly when they return to the Scourge story. Do you think that Blizz would ever consider having a Siege of Stormwind? I'd love to kill my own faction leader. And is there any lore behind Quell Delar? And in the DK storyline, they said there was something beneath Lighthope Chapel. What were they on about? Beneath Lighthope Chapel are a whole bunch of paladin corpses. And that holy to ground and that hurts the undead. I would like to raid Stormwind one day. I like Varian more than Anduin. But that's personal taste. I wouldn't mind killing Varian either way. I would love to see that. And the weapon has some lore behind it, but I can't recall it right now. Nobbel, what do you think about making your own guild anytime soon? I have my own guild, matey. Yeah. How come all the heroes have Hearthstone's game mechanics? Nobbel, there's a leaked picture. I know, mate. There's a leaked picture with new racial abilities, but I can't look it up right now. So I'll have to look it up later and I'll comment on it. And Nobbel, if you lived in the Warcraft universe, what race would you be? And where would you live? And what class would you want to play? Please answer. Okay, let me think about that for a moment. What race would I want to be? Dragons are pretty damn badass. But dragons also have a whole bunch of tragic stories. But because they live so long and in Warcraft nobody gets left alone. Yeah, I would go with dragons, just because you can be a dragon. With dragon skills, and dragon eggs, and dragon mating, and dragon burning down everybody. That could be awesome. Yep, I'm gonna go with dragon. Nobbel, how do you think the next expansion will start? When we go on the suicide mission, what exactly will we do when we are on the other side? What we're going to do, that depends on your faction. If you're Alliance, you're going to defend the Temple of Karabor against the Horde. And it's going to be a whole bunch of Orkies. You're going to see Velen fighting, I believe. What's he called? That one Draenei from the Black Temple. I remember the temple as it used to be. Come on. Well, that guy, he's going to be there. And you're going to fight out the Orcs. And if you're Horde, you're going to go, I believe, to the Frostwolf clan. And you're going to defend the area against either the ogres or the rival orcs. Something like that. So yeah. In Nobbel, we will see a new old god, always a possibility. And there's still one. Akama, thank you. Akama, that is. And there's always a possibility of a new old god. There's still one unnamed, so yeah. In Nobbel, what will happen when we see 2 Doomhammers? That's a good question, what they're going to do with that. That's also why I don't really like that they've decided to go with time travel expansion, because bullshit like that, excuse my French, you're going to have to deal with it, and already confirmed that they're not going to deal with it. So it's going to be interesting to see what they're going to do. Nobbel, for the Horde or for the Alliance, greeting from Saudi Arabia. Greetings, wow. People from all over the world up in here. For the Horde or for the Alliance? As playing, Alliance, story, Horde. Simple. And the reason behind it is I started off with the Alliance, so I know most people there, I know the leveling areas. And the story, well, you can't really beat the story that the Horde is getting, so yeah. Do you think that in one big battle with all of the Alliance army and the Horde army that the Alliance would win? As it currently stands, yes. As it currently stands, the Alliance overpowers the Horde. And I know a lot of people don't like it, and I know that you can think of a couple of scenarios where the Horde would win. As in, the Goblins have this cannon, right? And they could fire that cannon, or they could take over that land, or they could do this, or this, or this. But, yeah, the story as it currently is that the Alliance is the powerhouse and the Horde is recovering. The Horde is the underdog, as it started out from. So, yeah. Nobbel, why are we going back in time to stop Harrisburg when we have a bigger threats like the old god still lingering in our reality? Greetings from the Lone State, Texas. Lone Star State, Texas even. Because in Texas everything's bigger. We're going to deal with time travel stuff because Blizzard decided that it was time to deal with time travel stuff. That's the main reason, really. And there's a whole bunch of lore that they still need to cover on our side of the world. But yeah, they've postponed it. Nobbel, why has gnomes never been in any cinematics yet? By the way, I love your videos. Have the gnomes never been in a cinematic? Really? Hang on, let me think. Have the gnomes never been in a cinematic yet? I think that's right, to be honest. I don't know. I don't know why. I mean, I love the gnomes. I think the gnomes are awesome. Yeah, I think you're right. I don't know. Well, do you think Edwin Rin is going to get married? And if so, to who? Is Edwin going to get married? Huh. Is it weird to think of me that Edwin is into guys? Is that weird? If so, then we have to pick a female. But who do we have around his age in the current story? I think not much. There was a little side romance with a dwarf once, so we don't exactly have to look within his own race. So, I think there was one Draenei way back when who assisted Ronin in Night of the Dragon. If that Draenei is out there in Warlords of Draenor, we might see a little love relation with that. Other than that, who knows? Oh god, there's Nobbel fan too. Hello. No, Enduin's not gonna marry Jaina, come on, she's old. Hey Nobbel, Medan, yay or nay? Cheers from Portugal. Nay. I'm gonna join the hater group against Medan. Because Medan murdered the ending that Medivh had. If you remember the end of Medivh, that his whole storyline, right? When he was cleansed of Sargeras' corruption, when his mother resurrected him, and sending me questions in game, guys, I'm just gonna tell you right now, that's not gonna help. So anyways, when his mother resurrected him, he set out to teach the world that they no longer needed guardians, that the world could fend for itself. That's why he didn't actively fight against the Legion himself. That's why he recruited people like Thrall, like Jaina, like all those people who stood against the Burning Legion and taught them that now is the age of mortals and guardians no longer needed. In comes Medan, who goes to Karazhan and becomes a new guardian with a new council, yada yada yada. Completely destroying Medivh's beautiful story. And with that, any hope of ever seeing old Medivh again. So I'm gonna go with nay against Medivh. And what kind of role do you think Orgrim Doomhammer will get in Warlords of Draenor? Since they announced he will be there, big fan. If you've checked out my Warlords of Draenor's videos, I think I've covered in We Come From the Future Part 3. Nobbel fan, there's no point of asking me that because I'm not gonna answer it. But anyways, what they said at BlizzCon is that Durotan is going to be betrayed by Orgrim. And that's really peculiar because he never felt betrayed by him before. So that's going to be interesting to see what he's going to do. Maybe he's going to join the Iron Horde. Maybe he's, yeah. I think that would be one way to feel betrayed. But then again, in the original story, Orgrim also joined the original Horde, so I don't really see the point of making that a betrayal. So we'll have to see, but at least that's what they said about his story. Why is Rexxar not in Warlords of Draenor? I don't think they've denied him in Warlords of Draenor yet, but also not confirmed, so we hope. We can only hope. And I also know that Broxigar might get a part, fingers crossed, hopefully. Nobbel, do you think Gammon will ever get controlled by an old god and take over Azeroth? I have no idea. Is the light restricted to race? Like, can a demon be a light user? Now that's a very good question. Can a demon be a light user? I can't recall any demon ever using the light. But I don't think the light discriminates between good or evil. I mean, even the Forsaken can wield the light. Even Benedictus, I think his name was called. I think he was called. The one that we fought in the Thrall dungeon. He was evil. You know, he was fighting for Team Old God and he could still wield the light. So I don't think the light discriminates. I just can't recall a demon ever using the light. How come Blood Elves couldn't be warriors until Cataclysm? I don't know. Maybe they're too bony? Maybe they needed to learn? I don't know. Will the Skull of Gul'dan be a legendary item? I don't know. Hey Nobbel, do you think Orgrimmar will be changed back to its original state now that it don't need to be a fortress anymore? Well, I know that they're going to revamp it to show the changes after the siege. But the question is, how are they going to deal with it? Are they going to go back to the original Orgrimmar? Are we going to see some troll ornaments around? Are they going to put up some tents? I think they're going to remove the medal that Garrosh placed, because that was really Garrosh's idea, and a little bit more troll influences. But that's the question, and we'll see what's going to happen. How did Magni Bronzebeard get crystallized? That's told in the story The Shattering, a prelude to Cataclysm. During the Cataclysm, the dwarves tried an ancient Titan ritual, and they tried to communicate with the land to see what was going on and maybe fix it again. It all backfired, they didn't translate it properly, and instead of actually fixing the land or being able to communicate with it, it turned him into a crystal, and his spirit is now inside of Azeroth. If you read Thrall's short story, you can hear him. At some point Thrall goes into the earth and he hears a voice, and that's Magni's voice, as in, we are the Earthen, we are yada yada yada. So Magni is still out there, he's not dead, his spirit is just inside the world, and we might see him again. I love you too! Yo Nobbel, if Illidan had successfully used the Skull of Gul'dan on Arthas, what do you think would have happened? Arthas never became the Lich King. What do you mean? The Skull of Gul'dan? You mean if Illidan successfully blew up Icecrown, or just prevented Arthas from merging with him? But both ways, Arthas would never become the Lich King. Therefore, we were never sent to Icecrown. We would be unprepared for the Cataclysm, not powerful enough to stop it, and we would be all dead. Oh, my stream is grey. Is my stream still working, guys? Can you still hear me? It says loading video on my screen. Are we still doing alright? Okay, you guys can still see the stream. Okay, no, that's fine. I just can't see what's on the screen. That's fine. Okay, that's cool. Nobbel, do you think they will present Ner'zhul as Lich King later in Warlords of Draenor? Oh, there we go. My screen is now back. That's time travel stuff, and in order for Ner'zhul to be turned into the Lich King, he needs to communicate with Kil'jaeden. According to what they're going to do, is prevent the orcs from drinking blood. So Kil'jaeden's plan of exterminating the Draenei never goes through, and that way the whole plan of invading Azeroth, failing, invading again to make more portals, that's all a no-go. So if you go by the original story, it won't happen, but we don't know how much they're going to change and stuff like that. So it's always possible, but yeah, we'll see. I don't think so, personally. I have a question. In Kara, it's the main gate at the side door and an upside Kara. Both on top of Kara is an older door. It's only an extra door to get to the prince or something. With the new Kara something something. Well, as I said at the beginning of the stream, on MMO Champion there's a post. Apparently they're not going to use Karazhan for Warlords of Draenor, so that's a shame. Nobbel, what if Thrall is Doomhammer coming from the future teaching his younger self? Yeah, all that time travel nonsense, guys, that's not going to happen. They're not going to deal with it. Our history, our past, our Thrall is all fine. I've heard Jesse Cox say one day that older Thrall is going to pick up young Thrall and save him from destruction. You don't have to worry about that. That's not going to happen. Now, their reality might be screwed because the events as we know them won't take place. But our reality should be perfectly fine. Yo Nobbel, yo damn guys, relax. High Elves as a race in the future in the Alliance. Possible, although very similar to the Blood Elves. How will you think Grom Hellscream will be? I think he's going to be a hothead. I think he's going to follow Garrosh's initial plans, as in set up this army, invade Azeroth, yada yada yada. And in the end, he's not going to listen to Garrosh anymore. He's like, screw you little guy, I'm gonna go with my own plans, I'm gonna kill everybody, and we're gonna punch him in the face. Maybe even make him an ally again, hopefully. I don't think it would be fun to actually kill Grom Hellscream. So yeah. What will happen to the other reality when we leave it? Well, that's a good question. I mean, how are you going to end such an expansion? I mean, you will always want to keep that content open, right? You can't close it off, so they'll have to keep the portal open. So how do you stop such an invasion? Are you going to bring peace to Draenor? Are you going to show how Draenor could be if Draenei and Orc never fought each other? Is that going to be the story? Could be interesting. Could be something to be learned from, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. If the new Iron Horde makes it through the gates, is it possible a Siege of Stormwind on which we protect it from the siege? Yeah, those questions are very hard for me to answer, guys, because I don't know where Blizzard is going to take the story. There is always a possibility, of course, but who knows? And Nobbel, do you think we will ever get the Ashbringer as a weapon and use it? I don't think so, because they've used the Ashbringer as... because we had the Ashbringer in the story before. It was possible back in Classic to get the corrupted Ashbringer, and if you brought it to Scarlet Monastery, there's still videos up on YouTube, it would start a special event. So, we already had it in the game, and then they removed it, so I don't see them bringing it back into the game again. And Nobbel, good question here. Do you think Blizz will develop any lore with Lord Sablemane? The only black dragon left together with Raffion. Greetings from Chile. You know, honestly, I think they forgot about him when they made Raffion say that he was the last black dragon alive. And they were like, oops, there's another one in Outland, oh yeah. So, he's been standing there for quite a while, and will they ever bring him back into the story? A face-off of Sabellion versus Raffion. Who would win? And it's always the question of how are you going to introduce a character back to the story and what are you going to make him do? And if you can figure out a motivation, then there's always a possibility. And that's the same with the next question. Do you think we will see Broxigar in the next expansion? I've tweeted that and they couldn't confirm it, so we'll have to wait. And Nobbel, in regards to the change to Orgrimmar, do you think they will keep the whole underground fortress Garrosh built and make it accessible? Or will they close it off and not let us back in except for the raid? Yeah, once again, those questions of what are they gonna do, and I can't tell you. I mean, I don't know. I don't work for Blizzard. So we'll have to wait. And Nobbel, I'm wondering, why can't undead be paladins? They are risen humans after all, and undead can already be priests and use holy light. That's true. And we had an earlier question about orcs not being able to do to become paladins. And I don't think it's a lore reason, because as you pointed out, undead or the Forsaken can use the Holy Light. It burns them terribly, it causes them pain, but they can use it, so they should be able to become paladins. I think it's a gameplay reason, as in we want to make this class not so general for the races. I think that's the reason behind it. And Nobbel, who are the Grimtotem and why are they hostile? The Grimtotem are a faction within the Torren, and during the novel called, I think it was The Shattering, a prelude to Cataclysm, the Grimtotem came up with a brilliant idea to kill Cairn. And the way they did it is Cairn, he found out that Night Elves were killed, right? And his people as well. Druids were killed. There was a peaceful meeting, and he was mad, and he thought that Garrosh had done all of that. But Garrosh was pretty innocent because it was the Twilight's Hammer clan who actually did it. You know, the clan that's all about destruction of the world and old gods and all that good stuff. So he huffed and puffed and he went up to Garrosh and he was like, Garrosh, what have you done? And Garrosh was like, I don't know. I challenge you to mock Nafal, and that's a duel to the death with the old rules. And so they did a battle. And before that battle you have to ointment. You had to coat your weapon with an oil, right? So Cairn had his own people, and for Garrosh he had Megatha Grimtotem who did it for him. But what he didn't know is that Megatha, she poisoned his weapon. So the battle went on, and Cairn was kicking Garrosh's rookie ass without so much of a problem. Until he got hit, only once, with a minor cut, and the poison went into his body and it did devastating damage. So Cairn was killed by the poison, and later it was Eitric who went up to Garrosh, and Eitric was like, Garrosh, don't you think that battle was a little bit easy for you? Look at this weapon. And Garrosh found out that Megatha had poisoned it, had robbed him of his honor, and now he would never know who would win in a fair battle. In the meantime, with Cairn dead, his son, Bane Bloodhoof, took over leadership of the Torren, right, as those things happen. And Megatha thought that this was the perfect moment to strike, and she took over Thunderbluff. Unlucky enough for her is that a couple of her people betrayed her. They told Bane, like, we're coming. So Bane took his people and he went and hid in Fedamore, because at this point he didn't know who he could trust. I mean, can you turn to the orcs? Can you turn to Orgrimmar, to the trolls? Who knows? So what they did is turn to Fedamore, where Jaina Proudmoore offered them aid, as in gold, little shelter, and with that gold they were able to purchase some support from the Goblin. Meanwhile, Garrosh received a note from Megatha, as in, yo Garrosh, I helped you out with your little duel, now send me some troops, send me support to get Thunderbluff under control, and I'm gonna aid you forever. And Garrosh wasn't happy with that. Garrosh did not like that betrayal, and Megatha had not expected that, had not counted for it, that Garrosh would actually be upset about this. So yeah, in the end, Bane took his troops, they bombarded Thunderbluff, they kicked the Grimtotems out, and he gave the Grimtotems a choice. Either you stick around and you're loyal to me, or you piss off and you go to Thousand Needles. So a couple followed Megatha, went to Thousand Needles, and a couple stayed with Bane, because that one Grimtotem guy aided him. And those are the Grimtotems. Whoa, that was quite a story. Hey Nobbel, what if questions? Do you think Thrall will retire at the end of Warlords of Draenor and together with Agra and his son stay back on this old Draenor? Huh. Stay back in the old country. I hope so. I'm a little bit disappointed that they're dragging out Thrall again into the story. I mean, the man had his story in the Cataclysm, where he took his journey from Warchief Thrall to Shaman Thrall, right? Got his kid, got his wife, got his happy life. Let him stay that way. But they decided that boy Thrall still needs to be in the story and that they don't like where they placed him. So he, once again, is forced into the story. And my real fear is that they're going to make him like he was in the Cataclysm. Like, everybody follow Wonder Boy Thrall, he's going to tell you the story, and all the other races, you can just suck it. I hope that's not going to happen. And yeah, we'll see how that's going to happen. And will he retire? I hope so. I hope they allow to retire him. I'm just looking at the question list. When is your birthday, and are you ever gonna do something with your subscribers, and will they clean up Veil of Eternal Blossoms? If we can go by the old expansions, then the Veil is going to be destroyed for quite a while. I mean, the Burning Crusade is 6 years old now. That's still the same, so I don't think they'll change it anytime soon. My birthday was on the 20th of December, so we're close. And I'm still thinking of doing a little Hearthstone tournament. The only problem is that you can't really live stream such a tournament because people can look at your cards. So we would have to do a pre-recording and stuff like that. Maybe. I hope so. But we'll see. And Nobbel, are you pro or against the Shaman Ner'zhul? Greetings from Bucharest, Romania. I mean, do you mean his morals and his decisions, or do you mean his character? Because I love his character, man. That's freaking awesome. But Ner'zhul has a little bit of a power hunger inside of him, and Nobbel is bald in real life. Soon, not yet, soon. But anyways, I think Ner'zhul is quite a character. I don't think he has the best for his people in mind. I think he has the best for himself in mind. So I wouldn't mind killing him, but I also wouldn't mind seeing him as this noble shaman as he was at the start of the story. So yeah, we'll see. Will Jaina Proudmoore ever get a loved one, or will she forever be a crazy cat lady? Well, she's currently in a relationship with a dragon, if you can believe it. She's in a relation with the blue dragon Caligos, or Kalik. And apparently in the new novel from Christie Golden, she's going to have a little bit of a lover's quarrel. There's going to be a little bit of drama there. So, yeah. I think Jaina is one of those ladies who's doomed to always pick the wrong partner, to be honest. And Nobbel, what is your favorite raid and dungeon in World of Warcraft? Nostalgia value tells me that my favorite raid is classic Blackwing Lair. But I also really liked Ulduar. I also really loved Icecrown. I love Black Temple. I think the new Pandaria raids are awesome. The Siege of Orgrimmar had kinda small details. But nostalgia value puts classic Blackwing Lair on top. Ah, my inventory is full, you can't send me items. And my favorite dungeon. Wow, that's a good one. Favorite dungeon. I like what they did with the revamps. I mean, Scholomance is kind of nice now. Streffel. Oh, I'm gonna go with Streffel. I loved soloing that dungeon and getting the horse and the dancing trinkets. That was awesome. The question is, are you on a PTR and can you play Warcraft 3 if you have it installed? I have the game installed. You guys are crazy. I have the game installed, but the problem with doing a stream or a let's play with that, my playstyle when it comes to these RTSs, is that I play very boring. I turtle at first, I get all the upgrades, and then I go and kill everything. That's the way I play, so that's not really interesting to watch. And I sometimes go on the PTR to check it out. Yeah, I don't even know what server. Alrighty, hello. Selling Hearthstone beta keys. Alright, I think everybody has a beta key. And the beta is opening up pretty soon, but fine, if people want to sell keys, why not? Okay, this is a big one. Hey Nobbel, in the current Outland there is a place between Netherstone and Blade's Edge Mountains where if you fly there on a flight mount, the interface tells you the Twisting Nether. Do you think that could make anything with this in World of the Draenor, like some kind of patch where you fly there, you report to Demon Land in the Twisting Nether? Please answer this. Greetings from your friend from the north, Denmark. I got it before it was out of my screen. Yeah. Well, what happened was when Draenor exploded or imploded or whatever you want to do, when all these portals opened up, it's kind of connected with the Twisting Nether. So now you can see little patches of Twisting Nether streaming through the planet. It's possible that this will happen to the Draenor in Warlord of Draenor. You might see the history repeating itself. And this could be a gateway to Demonland. Yeah, it could. They've also, with the Warlock Greenfire questline in the Black Temple, they've also added that little well there that Illidan apparently made. I always thought, or at least in speculation, that they might use that as a portal. But we'll have to see if they're ever going to use it. Hey Nobbel, why did Thrall allow the warlocks to practice the dark magic if they returned to the shamanism? And how did Garrosh know of Kairos Dormu and how did he open it? I think, if I recall correctly, you'd have to check out my pretty old video. It's called What's Garrosh Doing Under Orgrimmar? Where I speculated at what he was doing there, as the title suggests. And at the start of the screen, the old Ragefire Chasm description is that Thrall was keeping these people close because he wanted to find their leader, right? Like, keep the small fish and they might show you who they're working for or what they're doing. Unless Garrosh means the warlocks that were actually practicing their warlock skills within the Horde, and then it's just a choice for power, I suppose. It's the same question as in, why the hell does the Alliance allow warlocks within their raids and within their cities? Because warlocks are pretty damn evil. And that's a very good question. What was the rest of your question? Do I still remember it? Oh boy. Oh boy, it's all going way too fast. Please answer. I read recently that the end boss of the whole WoW might be an old god. The one that corrupted Deathwing. Not Sargeras. Do you think that's true? Well, I can't really say if that's true or not, but I mean, the old gods are all locked away within Azeroth. And we don't know if there are any old gods out there. It's possible. But we do know that Sargeras is out there. Free as a whistle. So, if I had to make a bet right now, I would put my money on Kil'jaeden. Kil'jaeden, on Sargeras. But time will tell. And Nobbel, do you think Deathwing will be in Warlords of Draenor? Because didn't he have a cave or something in Draenor? He did. On our Draenor, he had a cave. But that's because our Draenor was connected to our Azeroth, and back then he had the plan in mind of bring his Dragon Axe to Draenor. That's not going to happen to the Iron Horde Draenor, so we're not going to see Deathwing, Nobbel my man, so we're not going to see Deathwing on Iron Horde Draenor, and we're not going to see Deathwing's lair. That's not there. Hey man, greetings from Slovenia. What is your favorite flying mount? As of right now, that's the Jesus, that's the red flying disc. I gotta stop paying attention on what happens to the screen because you guys are just awesome. How many people have showed up already? Okay, hang on. Let me catch my breath. Let me get a little sip. Are you liking the stream so far, guys? Damn. I'd not expected so many to show up. That's incredible. Okay, so hold your questions. I'm on a little break. Hold your questions. Alright, everybody's loving it. You know, actually prepared, like, I'm gonna get some pets, or I'm gonna level up my mage. But that just... yeah, it's not happening. I'm drinking a cup of coffee, mate. Oh man, 1779 people in the stream. Jesus. That's a lot of people. I think we had like 500 people with the Final Boss podcast. What the hell is this? Oh man. Do you support Ajax? Well, I'm not much of a soccer fan. I mean, when it's the WK or the EK, I support the Netherlands, of course. But when it comes to home clubs, I support Feyenoord, and not because I'm such a huge Feyenoorder, but because my mates support Ajax, and I like to piss them off. Oh, this one I like. Oh, this one I wanted to reply to in the comments. But, hey Nobbel, you said that the why there's always a Lich King is stupid. However, how about the helmet and generally the soul of Ner'zhul keeps calling for people to corrupt and use to achieve his goals? Greece loves you. And I love Greece. Well, the reason why I said that, and I'm still on a break, so chill, is Arthas' plan, right? His plan was to pitch us against the mightiest beings of the Scourge, right? And he was molding us, he was training us, he was taunting us. Bring your mightiest people to the top of Icecrown, where I will kill them, I will resurrect them, and put them in my army. That was his plan. But his plan failed. Because of Tyrion and the Light, who destroyed Frostmourne. That whole good stuff. If you had quit the story at that point, if you had said, okay, we're done, that would have been a good ending. But what they did is, there must always be a Lich King. And the reason they gave is that the Scourge would run rampant and that the Scourge could take over the world. Then the first question. Where are all these Scourge that Arthas had been hiding? I mean, didn't we just kill his mightiest people? Weren't we the ones, the chosen ones, the ones that he wanted in his army? Wasn't that his plan? Then the second question, okay, fine. There are that many Scourge, right? They're on an island. Northrend is an island. Why don't we just evacuate and let them do their thing? Kill themselves. We've got dragons. Do a couple of air assaults, burn them all to dust, and the Scourge threat is done. Even if that's not an option, even if they do find a way to make it to our land, I mean there are a couple of portals and whatnot, then we have Bolvar who's sitting there with the crown on his head. Why doesn't Bolvar just move all the Scourge to a single pit, where we blow them all up and we're done? Right? So I can understand the motivation behind it. I can understand that they want to keep a window open to the Scourge story. That's perfectly fine. But that doesn't make it any more realistic or make more sense, right? So that's why I said there must always be a Lich King is kind of silly. I don't want your apprentice staff. Keep your apprentice staff to yourself. Oh boy. Yep, that's a lot of people. Nobbel accept? No! Nobbel is not gonna accept. No! Nobbel is chilling here, cup of coffee. Lots of good people in the chat. Alrighty. Round 2. Let's answer some more questions. When do you think Warlords of Draenor is going to come out? Greetings from Bistiria, Romania. I'm thinking beta in March, release September. And I pulled that date out of the air. I have no idea. I saw a video from Didi Guides who made a pretty good shot at when it's going to be released. We don't know. And it's soon TM and it will be released when it's done. So yeah. Oh boy. Do you think we will see Broxigar in the new expansion? I've tweeted about that, they haven't confirmed it or denied it. Let's see. Hi Nobbel, can you see both Pandaland and Northrend in the first WoW trailer? I really want to know the reason. Please answer. Greetings from Denmark. I know that you can see Northrend, but that's because Northrend was always there. I'm not sure about Pandaria. It's very possible. And the reason? Because Blizzard made those globes. Hello Nobbel. What do you think about the Titan Old Gods lore? Are there all other old gods in other worlds? Is there some... Not so fast. Is there some Titan planet or some headquarters? And after all, where did they both come from? Good questions. And the simple answer is we don't know. We don't know if there's a source for the old gods. We don't know where the planet of the Titans is. All we know is that out of creation a race of Titans emerged. They found the planet of Azeroth and the planet was infected with old gods. That's their whole main story behind it, and the rest is still in shadows. Do you see if will we see Rexar and Warlords of Draenor? Not confirmed, not denied. I wonder, can you explain more about the trolls in the Zandalari? Well, what do you want to know? Did you ever have nostalgia for Warcraft 3? Greetings again from Romania. Whenever I have nostalgia, I play it again. I love that game. That game is still solid, even after all these years. Nobbel, what's your favorite WoW zone? Hello from Romania. Greetings, Romania. My favorite WoW zone. Damn. Oh, that's money. No, I don't want your money. Thank you. That's really sweet. Really, but I don't need your money. Thank you. My favorite zone. Well, Nagrand is the obvious answer, of course. I really like Pandaria, to be honest. I know a lot of people didn't like that theme of the zone. Or at least the theme of the expansion, but I thought it was beautiful. The Pandaren starting area? Damn! That was incredible. What will happen to Warlords of Draenor or Azeroth from Slovenia? That will probably be destroyed by any threats that we needed to team up to take care of. Dear Nobbel, I saw an image one day that really got me thinking about Naga, forgive me, but why do no Naga Death Knights exist? Obviously the race would conflict, but lore-wise, the Naga were still at the battle with Illidan and Arthas, so do you have a theory about why none seem to exist? That's awesome. Well, the main reason is because Nagas are not a playable race, but I would love to see Naga Death Knights. That would be incredible. But yeah, the main reason is that they're not a playable race. I've already answered that question, mate, about Panda and Northrend. Hey Nobbel, next class race after Warlords of Draenor, and what is going on with Sylvanas? Do you think she will be loyal to the new Warchief? The next race or class after Warlords of Draenor, well, I've done a bit of speculation on it, and it depends on what they're going to do. Are they going to go Burning Legion, or are they going to go N'Zoth? Are they going to go Naga? Are they going to go Demons? That's a question. So, Demon Hunter is possible. You have the Naga Sea Witch, that's a possibility. You have Nagas as a race. But that's way too soon to tell. And the next part of your question, damn it, I forgot it again. Hey Naga, do you see the Naga? Damn it! I'll ask it again. I'll get back to it. Oh, what will happen? No, not what happened to Warlords of Draenor, no. Oh well. Panda Druid, yay, nay. After a few years, yay. Because they could have been taught by the current druids. Do you think classes will get 4 spec in Warlords of Draenor? They've not announced it, so I doubt it. Can you sing a little for us? No. I heard you and Danger Dolan are going to do a video together. Is it true? Yep. Coming Saturday, we're going to release the first episode. And me and Didi, we got together and we talked a little bit about the state of the game. About looking for raid, stuff like that. And even about lore. Near the end. So, yeah, that's coming Saturday. What do you think about the difference from old talents to now? I think it's a great change. And I know that I'm in a minority, but the old talent system, from my perspective, was look it up at Google, look it up at someone you know that's playing a good spec, and go from there. Now, with the current talent system, you can't really go wrong. And me as a paladin, especially when I'm soloing and stuff like that, I've switched up those talents quite a lot. So I really enjoy this new system. And I know that some people find it less customization, but yeah, for me that was never the case. And oh well, what's your favorite legendary? It could even be one they removed. Ashbringer is pretty damn awesome, but I wouldn't call it a legendary. I would go with Thunder Fury, Blessed Blade of the Windseeker. Something like that, the one from Molten Core. Because back in Classic, that was just awesome. Someone was fighting with it and those little tornadoes. Getting the weapon, that was sick. So that would be it, yeah. Although the cloak, also damn cool. Seeing that entire storyline throughout Mr. Pandaria, that was awesome. Why don't the Titans help us? We can battle both the Burning Legion and the Old Gods, and which are their enemies, so we would be good allies. Shouldn't we be worth saving? Titans, aren't we worth saving? Damn it! Why do you do this to us? Yeah, good question. And that's the thing with the Titans. You would imagine that at some point they come and they party with us, but they haven't showed up yet. And then if you look at Ulduar, for example, that messenger, he wasn't exactly happy with us. So it's the question. Stupid mammoth parade. So it's the question, how will the Titans react to us? Hey Nobbel, what do you think about the Jaina vs Sylvanas? Greeting from Poland. Jaina versus Sylvanas. Jaina versus Sylvanas, you what to think about it. Two women scorned by Arthas meet in a death metal match to the death. Now, I would rather see a co-op of Sylvanas and Jaina. Just both of them teaming up, kicking ass. I would love to see that. Hey Nobbel, what is the Maw of Neltharion in Dragonblight? What happened there? The Maw of Neltharion in Dragonblight. Huh. I would have to look that up. But from the name, I would imagine that it's some place where Deathwing went, because Neltharion is Deathwing's name. I can't tell you from the top of my head. Sorry, I don't know. I would have to look it up. What else do we have? Question about the shamans here. They call their powers from the elementals in Azeroth. Then what about in Draenor? Are there other elementals or elemental lords? Sorry for my bad English. Nobbel's your fan here. Good question. As far as I know, they're not the elemental lords as we know it. Right? At BlizzCon they asked, will we see elemental lords on Draenor? I believe that was the question. And they said it was an Azerothian thing. The elemental plane even. So I don't think they have their own elemental lords, but the elements are present, of course. Water, fire, wind, earth. Everywhere you go, everywhere there's life, those are the basic elements. So a shaman can call upon those powers. Hey Nobbel, isn't it weird that two biggest weirdos right now are women? Isn't that weird? I mean, Garrosh was the biggest weirdo just before this, and then Deathwing, he was a guy. And then Arthas, he was also a guy. And before that Illidan, he was also a guy. So maybe it's time for the female power. Panda DKs, yay or heck no. Not until we get a new Lich King who is resurrecting Death Knights. I don't like them messing up with the past like, okay, there were pandas back then. Because there were. There were pandas here and there. But not so many that you can make actually Death Knights out of them. Can you consider making WoW machinimas? I wish I had that skill, my friend. I wish I could. I've been toying around with the WoW model viewer, but real machinimas and actually telling a story, I haven't been able to do it. There is one machinima out there that tells the story of the Barov family. That's just beautiful. And one day, I hope I could reach that level of quality in my lore videos. One day. Hello Nobbel, who crafted the Ashbringer from the crystal? Greetings from Norway. Top of my head, I thought that was Magni Bronzebeard. I think. What was the last boss of Vanilla? I'm new to WoW. The very last boss was Kel'Thuzad, I believe. I think Naxxramas was the last raid that opened up. Or was it Zuluman and Zul'Gurub? Chat would have to help me out there. Nobbel, please answer. Nobbel, why the Scourge didn't affect Pandaren or other races of Pandaria? The Scourge? Well, the Scourge came after Pandaria split itself from the continent and hid itself in mist. Hey Nobbel, please answer. Do you think Torren the Whisperwind will have her day as well? Greetings from the UK. I hope so. I've mentioned before, they kind of destroyed Torren. And that makes me kinda sad, because Tronda was pretty damn badass. So I hope she gets her moment again, instead of being arm candy and being told to hush Tronda, or patience Tronda. I hope she just goes like, fuck you, man. I'm 10,000 years old, who do you think you're talking to? Yeah, was Kel'Thuzad the last boss? Okay. That's good to know. Hey Nobbel, you almost hit 100,000 subscribers! What will you do when you hit that number? Greetings from Denmark. I'm going to Disneyland! No, I don't know, mate. Going on with what I've been doing. It would be awesome to reach it before the end of the year, but we'll see. Did Orgrim had any kiddos? Orgrim Doomhammer, did he have any children? Not that I'm aware of, no. Nobbel, do you think Sylvanas is gonna be the next Lich Queen? The thing with Sylvanas is, whenever you ask what she's going to do, just ask yourself, will it keep her alive? And if it does, that's her story, that's her motivation. And I can only see her turning herself into the Lich King if she's with her back against the wall and she needs that upgrade. Hey Nobbel, love your videos. I was just wondering if you knew much about the Ashbringer and its lore. My knowledge only includes the little cinematic in Old Hillsbrand Foothills. Oh damn, you're asking me to do lore from the top of my head. Okay, and that would require me to... Tyrion and the Ashbringer, Darien Mograine. Right, okay. Once upon a time, a crystal was found. And I believe, don't quote me on this, they found it in Dun Morogh. They at least found it from an orc. And the backstory is, when Velen escaped his planet, he had this huge crystal, right? And the crystal split itself up into 7 little crystals. And it's speculated that one of those crystals is what they used inside the Ashbringer. Speculation. This crystal was found by Mograine. I think that was his name. And this crystal was very dark, right? Very dark. He touched it with his hand and it scorned his hand. So he took it to that Hillsbrad Foothills cinematic that you see. And they tried to destroy it with the holy light. They tried to shoot their light at it. But instead of being destroyed, it absorbed it. So it took the light inside of it. And it healed his hand. They then decided that this would be the perfect thing to use against the Scourge. And they had it transformed to a weapon. I believe Magni Bronzebeard was the one who forged it into the Ashbringer. And Mograine used it as a weapon against the Scourge. And this guy was a freaking badass. Scourge upon Scourge, mountains upon corpses. He split across with his weapon. Until the day came that... hang on, let me just... So, there we go. That's annoying, don't spam. Until the day came that his own son betrayed him, stabbed him in the back, and took his weapon. And this turned the crystal from light to dark again. And this created the corrupted Ashbringer. And for years he wielded it. I think you could get it in Naxxramas as one of the Death Knights. I believe that was it. And you could take it to Skolemans, where the spirit of Mograine would step out of the blade, look upon his son, and he was like, oh no you didn't. So he killed his son. And then many years later, they continued the story. Where, let me see... The Death Knight Mograine had it in his hands. That's the whole Death Knight starting area. And then Tyrion picks it up and it turns holy light again. And then it became the holy weapon that we know that shattered Frostmourne. Did you hear my voice skip a few times? Damn, I'm talking too much. Oh boy. Oh, sorry, did I say Skolemans? I meant Scarlet Monastery. Yeah, sorry. Hello Nobbel, what do you expect from the Sea of Zungar? Where did it go? Where did it go? What? Oh no, the question is gone already. No! Oh, it's going too fast. Relax, it's going too fast. Oh boy. I can't read it this fast. I already put chat on slow, so... Why do we have to kill Cafoon? Can you tell me please? Greetings from New Zealand. Love your vids. Well, we had to kill Cafoon, cause Cafoon was gathering his forces and we needed the boss to kill. So what we did, we got the scepter Then we hit the gong and we broke the wall and we killed his old goddess before he got too powerful. I think that was his backstory, but you also have to realize that lore really stepped up in Wrath of the Lich King, and in Burning Crusade and in Classic we kinda had a little bit of lore, but it was crap. Nobbel, as the goblins got kicked out of Pandaria, why don't they just nuke the whole continent? Because, yeah, not profitable. I know, man, 1770 viewers, this is incredible. And I've seen that Moarg is playable for the Horde side. Is there any lore that connects the Horde with the Moarg race? Many greetings from Sweden. I have no idea what the Moarg race is. Are those the orc ogre things? I have no idea, mate. Who is your favorite warlord, and would you like to see Garrosh and Grom fight side by side, father and son, in a raid fight? My favorite warlord is Skillrock Deadeye. I mean, cutting out your own eye to receive a vision. That's freaking badass, man. And a Grom Garrosh team up would be cool, but on the other hand, I'm so sick and tired of fighting orcs, and I know that the expansion is going to be very orc heavy. I just don't want to fight any more orcs. Nobbel, have you seen the Tides of War WoW movie? Nope. Do you mean that music video? Then I have, yeah. And Nobbel, could you tell us lore about behind the Demon Hunters? Not from the top of my head, no. Wasn't it Illidan who started that clan of Demon Hunters? And he took in a couple of Kil'Thuz's Blood Elves and he tried to train them. And most of them went crazy or died or... yeah. It didn't exactly work out. I think only 2 or 3 actually stepped out of there alive as true Demon Hunters. And that's that's about the lore that I know. Nobbel, do you think Bolvar 4 Dragon will play a role in the future expansions? I hope so, man. I hope so. I hope that Bolvar takes his Scourge. Apparently there's a lot of Scourge left. And he just uses that for the Army of the Light. That he's walking there with his burned ass corpse with the helmet on his head. And he's like, yada yada, you guys need any help? And then a wave of Scourge army just flows over whatever the hell we're fighting. I would love to see that. And now, greeting from Mexico. What happened with Cenarius before the Cataclysm? What happened to Cenarius? Well, the orcs in Warcraft 3, they killed him. But those spirits, they don't exactly die. They just return to the Emerald Dream. And that's what happened to him. And now, what's the thing with Night Elf Mages, Torren Paladins, and Dwarf Shamans? I'm not exactly sure what thing you're talking about. But about the Night Elf Mages, maybe you're talking about why it doesn't make any sense. Well, the Night Elf Mages, what you need to understand is the backstory, right? Once upon a time, the High Elves with the Night Elves, casting their spells, having a party, the good times. This drew the attention of the Burning Legion of Sargeras and the whole Well of Eternity trilogy, where they had to fight for their lives against the Burning Legion and to stop Sargeras from entering our world. After those events, they decided, like, okay, we're not going to use this magic anymore. Magic is bad, it lures the Burning Legion to our world, let's quit it. The High Elves couldn't. They had to use their magic, man. They just couldn't stay away from the magic. So they were eventually exiled by Malfurion, and they had to move to Quel'Thalas. And this eventually created the whole Blood Elf story with Silvermoon, yada yada yada. Now keep in mind that Malfurion once upon a time exiled exiled High Elves from using magic, and now in the Cataclysm it's all fine again, because reasons. And that sucks. And sure, you can say 10,000 years, that's a lot of time, but the reason hasn't changed. Demons are still lured into Azeroth by using magic, so that's why it doesn't make sense. Hey Nobbel, what do you think about Vrykul race? Do you like them, and can you tell something interesting about them? Can I tell something interesting about Vrykul? No, not really. They're not really interesting. I mean, the mist and all that is just created by them. It's not really that they're ghostly spirits or whatnot. And they're kind of cool race. I'm trying to think of what was actually the backstory. There was something that they were just the The same as the other guys that we faced in Northrend, but it doesn't come to mind right now. I'm sorry. Are there any more lore weapons like the Ashbringer and Axe of Cenarius? Yes, there are. Plenty. Shalamain, for example. The weapon variant Rin uses. That's also a legendary weapon. Scythe of Elune is also a legendary thingy. So yeah, plenty more. Okay, chat is going too fast again. Relax. Chill. Chill. I like it that when I say chill, chat actually chills. Nobbel, do you think the Demon Hunters are going to be a new class somehow? It's always a possibility. And Nobbel, did Arthas get a burial anywhere? Or is he just rotting up on the floor of the Frozen Throne from New York? Well, I checked the Frozen Throne and he's not exactly there anymore, but I don't think they've ever said what they did with the corpse of Arthas. Don't think they've explained it, no. Hey Nobbel, will there be another Earth aspect? And then a gigantic smiley face came into the chat. Okay, hang on, buddy. There you go. There we go. Alrighty. I didn't get it. If the World Tree was destroyed or if it healed, how was it? Yeah, guys, if you're going to spam that face, I'm just going to kick you out of the stream. That's very simple. The tree was destroyed, and it would heal over time. That's what they already said at the end of the story. Then the Night Elf, what's he called? Stackhelm. He created this new tree against the wishes of Malfurion. So that's a different tree. You gotta realize that the Night Elf starting area is not the same as the one at Mount Hyjal. That was corrupted, then it was healed, and then the dragons offered to bless it again, but Malfurion was like, nope, we don't need that blessing, we don't want immortality, that's fine, don't do it. So it wasn't blessed, and the tree at Mount Hyjal, they had the plan in mind at Thrall's wedding to come together, heal the tree, and do all kinds of good stuff with it. But for some reason, once Thrall was back, and we put him back his elemental shaman self, they all forgot about the plan where the original came for, and they had a little wedding. That's just silly. So yeah. Look at all those dragons in the screen. Awesome. And Nobbel, will there be another Earth aspect? Thank you for not asking. The other ones abandoned their power, but what about Deathwing's successor? The thing with... Jesus, hang on. The thing with the aspects is that it requires a specific ritual to get those powers. Right, Kalec, when he became the blue aspect from Malygos, he had this whole beautiful ritual behind it. Deathwing never had that ritual. He never transported. That's it. They never transported that power to anyone else. So it's unclear what exactly happened to their aspect powers. Is it floating somewhere? Is it just gone? Is it evaporated? Who knows what happened to it? So right now there are no aspects anymore. At all. And yeah. That's it. Hey, Nobbel, is Thrall the Earth aspect, or is he just like, I'm too old for this shit? No, in the story, and it's very hard to explain. I want to say he was a catalyst, but I'm not sure if that's the right word for it. But he was like a little substitute for the Earth Warden, but he never became a true Earth aspect as Kalec became. So he never was that, just to make it sure. And if you want more details on that, you'll have to read Thrall, Twilight of the Aspects. That's in that story. Oh my god, it's a corgi. Hey Nobbel, why can't Pandarans be Death Knights? Clearly they were around back in Warcraft, so why not Panda DKs? Well, not enough pandas, I suppose. And back then in Wrath of the Lich King, they didn't plan on pandas in the game. Hey Nobbel, have you ever roleplayed in WoW? I've answered that question at the start, mates. You'll have to rewatch the stream. Greetings from Ukraine. I've heard the version that the old gods are some sort of the planets. Yeah, also answered. And Nobbel, please read this, I'm very curious. What's your opinion on the next encounter with Garrosh? Will we stop him again? Or will someone stop him? Like Thrall, for example. Greetings from Romania. And I'm just gonna have a lekkere appelflap. It's a good question. It's of course speculation. Hang on, I'm gonna eat a little something. The way that I see it, at least the way that I'm predicting it right now, the way that the story might go, is that Garrosh is going to go to Ironhorde Draenor, right? And he's going to see these old dudes that he only really heard stories about. His dreams are going to be shattered. His father's going to turn out to be a gigantic douche, a hothead, and he's going to kick Garrosh to the curb and he's going to draw his own plans. I think that's going to happen. And at the end of the story, Garrosh is going to go back to Azeroth for some reason. And he's going to learn from this experience. He's going to learn that Thrall's way was kind of alright. And Thrall's going to learn that his way was kind of too soft. And they're gonna come closer together. They're gonna hug it out and they're gonna have a party. I mean, the last part might be a little bit... yeah. Because there's also the story, of course, from Christy Golden. And she said that that book is going to explain how everybody is guilty. So I wonder if they're actually going to make everybody guilty. Because that would kind of suck. You first make Garrosh this big bad guy and then you're going to make everybody guilty. Like, okay, we should kill each other. Appelflap. Delicious. And Nobbel, are the Naru the source of all light for Paladin and Priest? It's speculated that it is. If you ever read the story Beyond the Dark Portal, in that story, the Paladin Thrallian looks deep inside himself as he needs to make the decision, are we gonna go to Draenor or not? And then the light tells him that it's going to be okay, and from that on, that the light actually spoke to him with the Burning Crusade expansion and the Naru and all that good stuff. Even Velen, who said that the Naru are linked to Elune, the Night Elf's god. It's heavily suggested, it's heavily speculated, but I don't think they've ever confirmed it. Look at all those dragons. Hello Nobbel, love your videos, they really make my day. Can you tell me the story behind Algalon the Observer? He is one of my favorite bosses in WoW, Heart Icon. Now hopefully that's Algalon from Ulduar. And Algalon was like a defense mechanism. In the instances near Ulduar there was Loken. And Loken was like a guy sitting on a button. And if he was ever killed, a distress signal would be sent. And that signal would send Algalon. Algalon would come down and he would scan the planet. Now we killed Loken, of course. Loken was corrupted as hell, so we had to kill him. But it didn't stop the distress signal. They just never apparently figured out that, you know what, these Titan Keepers, they might get corrupted. You know, who knew? So anyways, Algalon came down, he scanned the planet, and he was like, okay, this planet needs to be blown up. We're done. Let's start over. And he was about to send that signal to the Titans until we smacked some sense into him and we showed him the power of choice and courage and all that yada yada yada. So he gave us the other signal and we told the Titans that it's all good and that they don't have to blow us up. And that's the story. And Nobbel, why are there only a few races that are druids? Because the original druids learned the craft from Cenarius, and Cenarius taught it to Malfurion first, and he taught it to other people. So it's a pretty new craft, and it's not the easiest. You need to be, I think you need to be adept for it. So yeah, I think that's the reason. There was the other day, what did you call it? The WoW Ultimate Guide. And that said there was a Torren who was the original druid. So that's completely retcon stuff again. So yeah. That's the way that I know it. What do you think about Heroes of the Storm? Are you gonna play it? Yeah. Look at that, by the way. Hi, dragons. I think so. I think it's it looks awesome. It depends on what kind of crowd it pulls. Because right now I'm staying away from League of Legends because the player base is just very toxic, and I'm not gonna play with toxic people. So yeah, that's the reason why I stay away from it. And maybe the Blizzard game will be better. I doubt it, because even Hearthstone has those people. And yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I hope it's going to be a good game. Nobbel, okay, please explain where Chen Stormstout is from in WoW. They say he's on Pandaria, but not from them, but from a land far away. Do you know anything about this? Yes, that's a little bit strange, isn't it? For those that don't know, in Warcraft 3, when Chen introduces himself, he said he's a wandering Pandaren from Pandaria. But in reality, he comes from the Wandering Isle. Now, I don't know if they've ever explained this, but it's possible that he was first from Pandaria, made his way to the Wandering Isle, and then made his way to Azeroth. That's a possibility. But it's a little bit strange that he says that, yeah. How the Worgen curse began? Oh, I would have to check that, buddy. I think it was something to do with druids who thought it would be fun to try and get some woven spirit inside of them. And Malfurion tried to fix that, but he couldn't, so he sent them to the Emerald Dream. And then somebody made the Scythe of Elune that would summon the Worgen from the Emerald Dream. And when the Gilnean people wanted to fight against the Scourge, they used the Scythe, or they used the summoning spell. Worgen entered the city, and voila! Infestation and a curse. And oh, please take a look at this. I actually genuinely curious about this. I read in a dungeon journal that the Tempest Keep is able to teleport across dimensions. Does this mean we might see someone hijacking this place and crashing the party in Draenor? Dimensions, reality, yeah, it's possible. But then you would once again get a problem with double things. So it's a possibility, of course, it's always a possibility, but I think it's very possible that we might see our own instance in Warlords of Draenor, like an original one. Because at some point the Naru showed up to evacuate the Draenei from the original Draenor. By the time they already called it Outland. So at some point they should show up, and yeah, maybe we'll see it. Who knows? But I'm gonna get a quick cup of coffee, guys, because my throat is really dry. Be right back. You dragons, position yourself on the screen. Go for it. a coffee. Oh look, we have music now. Awesome. There we go. 1629. Wow. Where did all you people come from? Oh Jesus, so many questions. No wonder I have 2,000 questions stored on Ask.fm. It's ridiculous, guys. Oh man. Try to keep your questions small, guys, please, because I can't. Those big ass story questions, I can't answer those. Nobbel, will Thrall and Garrosh fuse to become Broel? Oh, brilliant. Where are you from? I'm from the Netherlands. Why do you choose to play as an alliance and not the Horde? I play as the Horde because I find them better. Loktar for the Horde. Because way back when, my buddy started playing alliance and I wanted to play with my buddy. So we went alliance. What's the story behind Thrall giving the Doomhammer to Varian? Greetings from Australia. I don't think Thrall gave Varian the Doomhammer. Nope. Please answer. Hey Nobbel, Enduin Rin get Ashbringer? Question mark. I don't know. I think he should become more skilled. Nobbel, our king, come down. I think he should become more skilled with the blade before he gets a weapon. And where from the Netherlands? That's private. And if you want to know my server, guys, just check the first 5 seconds of all my WoW videos. It's introduction. What's your favorite race and class? Story-wise, the race, that would be the orcs. I love the story of the orcs. Class, that's paladin, obviously. And I stayed up all night so I could see this awesome event. Greetings! In the Whispering Forest of Deathknell. Have you seen it before? And do you know the lore behind it? I heard it's the evil underneath Tirisfal and the reason we shouldn't go digging in the glades. But yeah. What do you think? It's a fun event. If people haven't seen it yet, you can check it out. And right now, a few weeks ago, what the hell is that? But a few weeks ago, Jesse Cox had an interview with Dave Kozak, where he asked what's under Tirisfal Glades, right? And there he answered that right now there isn't anything there, and it's just something that they might introduce later in the patch. Now, what could be there? I mean, Tirisfal. If I had to make a guess, I would say the corpse of Tyr, corrupted by Galagras, who bit his hand off, or Galagrand even. So yeah, that would be my my guess. Alrighty, next. That's we did. How long did it take for you to get the cloak? Because I'm stuck on the Veloport. Couple of months. Something like that. I got very lucky with the drop rate. What is the music at the start of your YouTube WoW videos? Check the description. Nobbel, do you know anything about the Nerubians and why they are not in the Eastern Kingdom? Because they used to share their kingdom with the Mentit, the Kirai, and the Nerubians, and then the land split apart because of the Sundering. And they were just stuck in that area, and they were nice for the Northrend area. Yup. Queen Azara, why aren't we fighting her yet? You should ask Blizzard that. And Nobbel, do you think the elves and the Torren still be allies after what happened? Groetjes uit Zuid-Holland. I think it's possible. I mean, if you think about it, everybody in the Horde should hate each other, right? But that's not happening. They're still buddy-buddy, they're still all in the rebellion and in the Horde. So, I'm sure with time, everything's gonna be alright. Oh man, I can't do that big question, Swedish Norden. That's the story, man. Try to make it smaller, please. Please read. Hey Nobbel, greetings from England. After the revamp for the Scarlet Monastery, do you think they will continue the Scarlet Crusade story after Warlords or just leave them? I don't know. I'm sorry, but I don't know. You should ask Blizzard that one. At what point in Warcraft's history did Torren what? Did Thrallian and Illyria disappear? They at what point in Warcraft's history? I can look that up. I have a time thing. Hang on. I have the WoW Ultimate Visual Guide, and this has a timeline in it. I mean, it's pretty strange because there shouldn't be a timeline, but it has one. Hang on. And with that I mean, they created a story without actually thinking about a timeline, so it's strange that they actually made one. The Fall of Stormwind was year 5, the Second War was year 6, the Destruction of Draenor was year 8. So, that would be it, I suppose. Hang on. Yep, year 8 in Azeroth's history, and compared to today, we're currently year 30, if you want to see that in a perspective. Hey Nobbel, why can it be that you can find Gorehowl in Karazhan? I've done a video about that, mates. Karazhan, A Link to Draenor. It's in there. Hey Nobbel, can you tell me what the area north of Western and Eastern Plaguelands is? Nope. I think you're talking about that special event that we just covered. Does Valera, you know, the Rogue Claws in Hearthstone, have a story in WoW? She probably does. I think she was part of Varian's Travel as Gladiator, which is in the comics, but I can't think of it right now. We'd have to look it up. Imagine all race bosses are killed. Who is a new race boss? Sorry for bad English. Way too many. Way too many. You have Kill Jaden, of course. You have Sargeras, which could be a raid boss. You have N'Zoth. You have Queen Azora. You have an unnamed old god. But if you mean, if everything in the universe is destroyed, yeah, they can just think of something new. Dear Nobbel, what is the story about Valera Sanguinar? Well, we just had that one, mate. See. Hey Nobbel, would you love to see Illidan on Arthas back? Love your videos and hello from Serbia. Arthas, not so much. Arthas has a finished story, complete and done. And a couple of people asked me why wasn't Illidan on your top 10 final boss list with such a huge backstory. And you're right, Illidan has a beautiful backstory, only the in-game story was pretty crap. You are not prepared. For what exactly? What are we not prepared for? And we ended up at a couple of weird storylines, didn't make much sense. So they kind of butchered him in-game, the same that they did with Deathwing. So that's why he didn't make it on my list. And besides that, his backstory was kind of rubbish. So I would like to see Illidan return, if I had to pick between those two. Please read, do you think that the Alliance will retake Lordaeron with an epic story and an epic oofer like Human after Sylvanas does stuff? Also, if you're willing to play Warcraft 3, can you play it on Battle.net like custom games as Oofer Party or Titan? That last question is not for me. And will the Alliance retake Lordaeron? I highly doubt it. Because the people of Lordaeron are mostly dead. And for those that don't know, the people of Lordaeron, they went with Jaina to Fedamore, right? Now Fedamore had a little bomb problem, so those people are dead. And those that evacuated eventually ended up in Orgrimmar as target practice and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's done. And I don't think Alliance really has any rights left to Lordaeron, because in Warcraft might is right, and the Forsaken have overtaken Lordaeron. It's their place. And as long as we have the Forsaken, they need a place to live. And I really like your videos. Can you tell us anything about Old Ironforge and that shiny book in it? Greetings from Portugal. That shiny book in it. I think you're talking about the tablets that Magni Bronzebeard used to communicate with the land. And this turned him into a crystal. And that backstory. Yeah. And who do you think is more powerful? Arthas or Deathwing? Arthas. Arthas killed us, so he's the winner. Who's Mal'Ganis and what's his story? Mal'Ganis is a Dreadlord, and he was working with Kill Jaden, and by extension Ner'zhul, as Ner'zhul was the Lich King, and they had the plan of corrupting Arthas, luring him to Northrend, where he become an agent of Kill Jaden and Ner'zhul. Unknown to Mal'Ganis is that Ner'zhul was like, Kill Jaden? He's not my boss. And Arthas became Ner'zhul's puppet, killed Mal'Ganis, got his revenge, And we thought that Mal'Ganis was dead. But if you follow the Ice Crown questline, at some point he pops up again. And he says, "You will need my armies to take down Arthas, yada yada yada." Implying that there would be more story with him. But they never placed it in the game. So, Mal'Ganis is out there somewhere. Nobbel, would you like to make stories for Blizzard? Yes, I do. Do you think there's a Warcraft god or the Big Bang Theory? I think there's a god represented as the light. And also, if the Big Bang Theory is the one, why is magic and something. I think Warcraft uses both, to be honest. I mean, the origin story of the Titans, like, out of creation a race of Titans emerged. That pretty much implies that the universe was created out of a Big Bang. But then the Titans became gods for us who shaped the world and created the land, so it uses both. Are you a potato? I'm not a potato. What race would you like to see as a new playable race for future expansions? Dragons. Nobbel87, you know World of Draenor lore? The bits and pieces that they've released. Hey Nobbel, where do babies come from? Greetings from Britain. I play WoW, are you sure you're asking the right person? Who owned Frostmourne before Arthas? Don't think anyone did. I believe Ner'zhul, Kil'jaeden made the Nafrezim make the blade. I think that was it. And then it was just part of Ner'zhul's armor, and then Arthas took it. Hey Nobbel, will you take my sexy orcish panties, or you're not that kind of girl? Fine, give me your panties. Why the heck do you sound like Wheatley so much? I don't know. Greedy Nobbel, why was Kael'thas the best choice for the Blue Dragonflight? Because he was already kind of introduced into the story in the Burning Crusade. If you go to Tempest Keep, no, not Tempest Keep, the one on the island, Isle of Quel'Danas, he's there in the raid instance, so he was already known to the people, and that's why they made him an aspect. Nobbel, where do priests get their shadow powers? Well, I've seen this question on Ask FM before, and I tried to look up the answer, and all I could come up with is that if you wield the light, you also wield the counterpart, which is darkness. So light has a shadow, without darkness there cannot be light, and vice versa, yada yada yada. And I think that's the reason. But don't quote me on that one, please. And there's a huge tomb in Stormwind that appeared after Wrath of the Lich King. It doesn't have any nameplates. Is this Arthas' tomb? Greetings for Mexico. Greeting. I don't know, mates. If it has no nameplates, then I can't tell you what's inside. Look at all those dancing orcs, man. That's awesome. Alrighty then. Why doesn't a paladin have an evil side? And well, they do, but they don't really use shadow powers. Yeah, that's a good question. It's a good question. Don't paladins really use... No. I was thinking about exorcism, but even that just uses the holy light to scare somebody off. So yeah, I would have to look it up. And Nobbel, in Black Temple you can see Azeroth in the sky. What about that? What about that? Well, apparently Azeroth is close enough for the Black Temple to see it in the sky. And Nobbel, can you tell us how you got into WoW? I can. Sure I can. I was playing Star Wars Galaxies over the summer with a buddy of mine. And that buddy, Mr. C, Serio, showed me the cinematic, the trailer of World of Warcraft. And he said, let's play this. And at first I was like, nah, let's not. But a day later I was trying out the game. And I really liked it. Can you see Tronda and Illidan's brother get a child? Patrick from Denmark. Well, I kind of assumed that they would already get it done. I mean, Thrall during the Cataclysm was able to put a baby in Agra's belly. You would imagine that those two can. But yeah, apparently not yet. They do have a child. They have Chandris, an adopted child. Nobbel, is the spirit of the wilds the same as what the druids draw their power from? Good question. I don't think so. As far as I know, druids take their power from nature. And the spirit of the wilds, I think you're aiming at the shaman element, which is all life. So you could say that it's overcrossing. That's a good question, I don't know. Who created Ashbringer? That was, I think, Magni Bronzebeard, but I can't say for sure. Why doesn't Gnomeregan ever get captured back? Indeed. Why, Blizzard? Why? Why has it been so many expansions, so many years, and we still don't have Gnomeregan back? Yeah, can you explain that? No, you can't. I don't know, mate. It's the gnomes. No, you said Medivh rests by his mother in your Karazhan video. But how did he die the second time then? Yeah. Well, that's a good question. Did he actually die? At the end of Warcraft 3, he just took his place amongst the legends. So maybe her magic of resurrecting him was only for a limited time? Huh. Funny how you don't think of that. I should have thought of that. I don't know. As far as I know the story, he didn't exactly die. He just transferred his powers to his son. So he might still be out there. Can you speak German, Nobbel? Not a lot. I mean, I can go as far as Guten Tag, ich habe keine Ahnung, and jawohl. That's about as far as my German goes. Greetings from Poland. Hey, Nobbel. I have a fast question. What happened with Uther after Arthas started to be badass? The Uther was killed by Arthas. And in the story, Uther was transporting the urn of his father, Arthas' father. And Arthas needed that urn to resurrect or at least transport Kel'Thuzad's remains. So he killed Uther, and Uther now has a tomb in the Plaguelands. What story would you like to see in the future? One that haven't been told yet. Titans and Old Gods are always a good story. I want to see Gul'dan get corrupted and go mad. And yeah, the Warlords of Draenor kind of has an interesting story going for it. It has a lot of potential. I just hope it also shows that potential. We'll have to wait and see. I'm from Norway. Who do you think is the last boss of Warlords of Draenor? If I had to make a bet, right now I would say Kairos Dormu. Or maybe a slowly corrupting Nosdormu. Because if you want to stop an alternative reality from invading yours, you'll want to kill the one that has the power and the will to create those portals. So if I had to make a guess, I would say him. But it's anyone's guess at this moment. The game isn't out yet. Do you think we will see the characters from Mob in Warlords of Draenor again? I hope so. I wonder what they're going to do with Yalia and G Firepaw. I wonder if they get their love story that they deserve. Because so far, it's kind of been a letdown so far. Who is Azeroth? I mean, Illidan uses his Warglaze. Who was he? Good question. An even better question, how the hell did he get his weapons when he was imprisoned for 10,000 years? Didn't they take his weapons away from him? Oh well, I don't know. What happened to the Sunwell after the raid and to the Blood Elves? There was no lore of them since then. Lore-wise, the Blood Elves should slowly but surely get cleansed from their corruption. The Sunwell reignited their source of power. Like, they don't feel that need to suck the life out of certain beings anymore. Even the High Elves felt it. But that's gonna take a little while. So those green eyes and that infection from the Fel magic, over time, should go away. Over time. I know, I'm sorry if you already answered this question, but my internet was doing weird when I asked the question before. But were the High Elves immortal before the Battle of Mount Hyjal? Yeah. You mean the Battle of Mount Hyjal with Archimonde and all that? Well, those were both Night Elves and High Elves, yeah. Doesn't matter. Everybody was immortal, that's correct. The dragons had blessed the tree after the War of the Ancients, so that the Night Elves would have the time and luxury to enjoy life, spend time in the Emerald Dream, learn their stuff and all that. And when the tree blew up, they became mortal. So now they can get old, now they can get sick, and now they die. Yep. Reds, please. Infinite Dragonflight in Warlords of Draenor. What do you think? Possible? especially with the introduction that we've seen in the visions. Hard to say at this point. Nobbel, do you think you could tell me the story behind Naralex, the night elf sleeping in the Wailing Caverns? Not from the top of my head, but as far as I know, that guy entered the Emerald Dream in an attempt to heal the Barons. And chat, you can feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but he got stuck in the Emerald Nightmare, and we need to bring him out of there. Nobbel, do you think Lady Liadrin, or whatever her name is, would be a better Blood Elf racial leader? Better than no, not Kilfas. What's the guy name again? Lorfamar. Nobbel, how can you forget Lorfamar? I'm sorry. Would Lady Liadrin be a better leader? I'm not sure about that, to be honest. I might get a little bit of hate for this, but the whole Blood Elf storyline makes no sense to me. I mean, these guys started to suck the life out of beings to cleanse their magic addiction, while other high elves were perfectly fine with their magic addiction without sucking the life out of stuff. So, shouldn't you feel bad about that? And then Lady Liadrin, she gets a Naru, right? She gets to suck the holy light out of him. And she's like perfectly fine with that, you know. All for the holy light, all for the good of the people. And then she figures out, oh, it was wrong to do it. And they get the Sunwell as the reward. I'm like, what? What? Why? But back to your question, I'm a little sidetracking here. No, I think Lorfamar is a pretty cool leader. He has the best in mind for his people, just not for the Horde as a whole, because he was about to leave the entire Horde. So yeah. Nobbel, what racist lore do you like the most? Orcs. Nobbel, what is the best ministry in WoW? I don't know. And Nobbel, greetings from Peru. Which would be the best name for Thrall's son? I think he has a name, I don't know. What would be the best name for Thrall's son? Little ass kicker. Do you think there's a Warcraft god or the Big Bang Theory? I've already done that one, mates. Nobbel, how many more expansions do you think they're going to make? As long as WoW is profitable, they'll keep going with expansions. Even Chris Metzen himself at BlizzCon said that they have expansions like bullets in a gun and they can shoot them all. Pew pew pew. So they've got plenty of stories still to tell. Who's your favorite racial leader and why? Greetings from Ireland. Thrall. I like Thrall a lot. I think Varian made a little bit of headway in the last few expansions. He's a little bit too much on the forefront and pushing other races out of the way. But Thrall is my boy. If you've ever read Thrall Lord of the Clans, you'll fall in love with that guy. He's awesome. And would you enjoy if a feature was added where you could do old raids scale down? I would love that. I would love to do that. Get 40 people and do old Molten Core again. Scale down. Would love it. And who did Tyr fight? Galakrond? Yep. Greetings from Germany. Yeah, he... How or why? Oh, why? Well, sorry. He fought with Galakrond because Galakrond was eating everybody. And he was exterminating the Proto-Drakes. You can't have that. A dragon eating everybody. A Proto-Dragon even. Hey Nobbel, have you read any books related to Warcraft? And do you recommend some of them? Greetings from Finland. I've read all of them, as far as I know. And yeah, all of them are pretty damn good. The only one I can't recommend is Dawn of the Aspects. I thought that one was pretty bad. But it's always from someone their own experience, and nobody can tell you if you really like a book or not. I think you can't go wrong with either Rise of the Horde or Thrall Lord of the Clans, if you really want a book to read. Hey Nobbel, greetings from Sweden. Which tier do you think is the most fabulous? Keep the videos going, man. Tier 1. Tier 1 or 2 are pretty damn awesome. Although, the latest tier, that robot gear for my paladin, it looks awesome, man. Which is also pretty sexy. Nobbel, how do you feel about a third faction, and do you think it will be possible to do, as in a third faction that everybody could join? It would mess up PvP, kinda. So I'm not sure if they could do that. So yeah. And could I do it? Well, I'm not a game designer. I mean, anything's possible. Oh look, Brock's Nobbel. Oh boy. And Nobbel, do you think that Jada will do something crazy in Warlords of Draenor? I doubt it, to be honest. I don't see them dealing with anything related to what we've currently done in the story, right? They're going to, at least that's the impression that I got, is that they're going to drop everything that we've had. We're going to go to Warlords of Draenor, we're going to see that story. That's my impression of the current lore given. So, yeah, that's my impression. And will she do something crazy? I hope so. I hope so. Nobbel, could you show us all your characters? I could, but I'm not going to. Greetings, Nobbel. Big fan here. Good to see you streaming. Thank you. Welcome to the stream. Can I be your future Mrs. Nobbel? Oh, you don't want to be my Mrs. Nobbel. Trust me. Hey, Nobbel, if you could pick a race and make it playable. Dragons. Hey, Nobbel, is Broxigar gonna... I've tweeted about that. I can't confirm it yet. Sir Nobbel, as a paladin, I would be very upset if Torrellian came back as a neutral character like Fordring. What are your thoughts on their faction alignments? I don't care, to be honest. It's always the question of what's their backstory, right? And how are they going to do that? So, as long as the backstory is good, I'm alright with that. And getting upset with it, yeah. If they have to make someone neutral, I would go with Alleria first, because she has a connection to her sister, to Sylvanas. But then again, she was also very anti-Horde and anti-Orc, and it was Torrellian who was the neutral one, so yeah, it's tricky. But let's just get them back into the story, shall we? And Nobbel, do you think Sylvanas could resurrect Arthas? I bet she could, but she's not going to. She hates Arthas. Nobbel, you know the lore of Yogg-Saron? Yeah. Once upon a time, Titans came down to Azeroth, imprisoned the old gods. Yogg-Saron wanted to break out, so he corrupted his jailers. He nearly broke out. Bran Bronzebeard warned us all, and we stopped him. Story of Yogg-Saron! I also have a more detailed video called The Story of the Titans and Old Gods. It's just a 3-parter that you can check out if you want more details. Nobbel, Sea of Zanger, opinions and thoughts. I was talking about this with Didi, guys, by the way, because I hadn't thought about it. And he was talking about that it could be a possible new Vashir zone, right? Because right now Zangarmarsh is a marshland with not so much water, and in Warlords of Draenor it's going to be an ocean with whales and stuff like that. So a new Vashir zone, I wouldn't be against it, to be honest. If they've learned from their mistakes, if they make it more interesting and actually finish the story, that could be pretty damn awesome. So yeah, that could be cool. But other than that, yeah, it's an ocean connected to Shafra. Have you seen the concept art, by the way? That looked damn amazing. Do they already have a child? Oh, this is all caps, by the way. Can you tell how and when that happened? From Patrick. Well, Patrick, when a orc girl and a guy orc, that happened in the end cinematic of the Cataclysm. You saw Alexstrasza, the Lifebinder, place her hand on the tummy of Agra. That was an indication of why she's pregnant. And if you do the quest line, I believe it was 5.2 with Vol'jin, he sends you to Thrall at some point, and there you can see a child in the crib. And yeah, that's the first child. And if you believe the visions that we see in Vashir, with where Thrall splits up right into the elements, and you go to the water zone, there's a vision of 2 kids. So apparently there's still one more on the way. Nobbel, in Warlords of Draenor, Outland will be removed? No. Outland is still going to be out there. They were not sure yet on how they're going to fix it. They were talking about placing a portal in the Caverns of Time, and then you can just use that portal to travel to Old Outland, while you can still use the Dark Portal to go to Warlords of Draenor. Whatever situation they come up with, Outland won't go. Nobbel, do you maybe know more about the demon hunters that spans and Mr. Pandaria with friendly greets Nederland? That spans in... Sorry, mate. You can type it in Dutch if you want. I'll just translate it myself. Is mayonnaise an instrument? What's your favorite lore WoW figure? I have a couple, mates. Thrall, Medivh, Sylvanas, Varian is climbing to the tops. Jaina is kind of cool now. Whole bunch of characters that I like. I like the lore. Read, please. Do you think Garrosh and Warlord Zayla will have a baby? Ah, I would love that. And then later that baby Garrosh versus baby Thrall. That would be awesome. Nobbel, do you think we'll see Lady Liadrin in Warlords of Draenor? Yes. they've confirmed that she's coming with us. Did they confirm it? No. No, Nobbel. Oh. Lady Liadrin confirmed. Nope. No, they said that they're going to continue the Blood Elf Naru light story, so that's going to be part of it. And if they're going to continue the story, my interpretation is that Lady Liadrin, she has to be a part of that, right? You can't do it without her. So yeah. Hey Nobbel, do you know how many arms, hands did what? Because there are 2 glaives, 1 dagger and bulwark, shield. Oh, haha. That's the question was, do you think that Azeroth has any more limbs because their items called arms and hand of Azeroth? Oh. Dan Flamekeeper Nobbel. Dwarfy Jenkins with a Nobbel for the win pet. I'm an orc. Go, go, go. Oh man. I love you guys, really. Internet, sometimes it can has the most crappiest people on it. But you guys just show me that it also has the most beautiful people on it. It's amazing. What else do we have? Oh boy, it's going too fast again. What's the story behind the eye patch of Lorfamar? I've seen your question on AskFM, and I still need to look it up. And I don't know. You should try to Google it and see if you can find it. From the top of my head, I don't know, mates. I'm sorry. It's something I do want to know and find out. Hey Nobbel, hello everyone. I never quite understood what Azeroth means. I know the word from the Warglaives from Illidan. Yeah, apparently it was a demon that Illidan killed, and that's where he got his weapons from. But other than that, they haven't given it really a story. Can you make a video on each trick? Well, I can always try. Requests are always on the list. Where do you live in the Netherlands? That's none of your business. Lorfamar's eye patch was from a Scourge invasion, really? Ah, okay, cool. Do you watch any anime? I've watched Dragon Ball Z. That was pretty cool. But I'm not a huge anime fan. I watched the Van Helsing Abridged series on YouTube. That's freaking hilarious. And I try to get into it from time to time, but I just haven't found a show yet that really caught my attention. In the old days we had one. There was like a red, blue and a yellow guy. And they had these cards, right? And then they could insert those cards into one guy and become an Uber guy. And they were helping this little lady with blue hair. It was awesome. What else? What if Sylvanas resurrected Arthas just to torture him and undeath? Yeah. Yeah. And Nobbel, what do you think would happen to Charlemagne if Varian died? Would we get it as a legendary? Is Avatar the Airbender considered anime? Because I watched the crap out of that one. And what would happen to Charlemagne? I don't know, mate. I don't know. Nobbel, they're gonna remake UBRS. How what? Okay, I'll just skip to the next one, sorry. And now, well, who's Lord Xavius? Lord Xavius was a high elf in the court of Queen Azora. And it was Lord Xavius who made first contact with, what's he called, Sargeras. And then told Queen Azora, like, look, we got this portal, right? And there's this big guy, and he's going to make everything alright. So he showed her the portal. And Sargeras told her, I'm coming. And she's like, okay, we're gonna rule the world together. So Xavius, his first battle, or at least he was trying to make this portal for Sargeras to enter the world. And Malfurion, through the Emerald Dream, was trying to stop them. But Xavius had these magic eyes, and he could see Malfurion. But in the end, Malfurion, with the help of Kresus, and the help of Ronan, and I believe even Broxigar, in his mind, managed to utterly destroy Xavius. Sargeras wasn't too happy with that, so he tortured Xavius for a little while. Until, finally, he decided to turn Xavius into the first satyr or satire, S-A-T, Griekse I-R, and Xavius returned, corrupted other high elves, also turned them into satyrs, or satyrs, or whatever you want to call them, and eventually he kidnapped Yeah, he kidnapped Ronda. He did. So, Malfurion tried to stop him, turned him into a tree, but by that time it was already too late. She was kidnapped and she was in the hands of Queen Azara. So he was turned into a tree, and for many, many years he was just standing there, yada yada yada. Until the events of Warcraft 3, and apparently he was there when the tree blew up, so when he was stuck as in his tree form that Malfurion turned him in, he could feel that pain, but he didn't die. So he ended up at the bottom of the ocean, and at some point N'Zoth got in contact with him, also with the Emerald Dream, and Xavius became the Nightmare Lord, right? They captured Malfurion, they sapped his power, corrupted the entire Emerald Dream, turned it into the Nightmare, until the events of Stormrage took place, where they kicked Xavius' butt, where they kicked N'Zoth's butt, they kicked the Nightmare's butt, and apparently he's destroyed. That's the story of Xavius. And Nobbel, what do you think will happen with Prophet Velen and Warlords of Draenor from Small Town Cow? I don't know what will happen. Look at my bodyguards, by the way. Look at that. That is incredible. But I hope that we're going to see him kicking ass, taking names. I hope we see an active Velen. Ironhorde Velen. And that he's going to kick butt and we're going to get a taste of his power. Because the Draenei haven't done crap after since they were introduced in the Burning Crusade. So I hope we're going to see that. Read please, hey Nobbel, can Blizzard use Thrall too much and turn him evil? From Denmark. Love you. I love you too. Well, they could, but I don't see them turning Chris Madsen's favorite boy into an evil bad guy. Maybe, I once said in a video that I would like to fight Thrall, and that's still the case. But people took that as in you want to kill Thrall. Don't get me wrong, I never want to kill Thrall because I love his story. I just want to fight him once, so let him get corrupted and let us smack some sense into him, and then he can become the good guy again. That I would love to see. Oh, hang on. There's some story about Azeroth in the chat. What is the story about the Sunwell? Hi guys. The origin escapes me. I think the original High Elves that were banished by Malfurion, they made their way in Silvermoon, right? Quel'Thalas. I think they took a little bit of the water from their original place and they made a new well, and they called it the Sunwell because there were no longer Night Elves, they were going for the sun. Then that well was very powerful, it held a portion of the original Well of Eternity's power, and eventually, after years and years of using that power to defend their city, Arthur shows up, he needs to resurrect Kel'Thuzad, drops Kel'Thuzad in that water, corrupts it, and it's gone. Or so they thought. The real power was transformed into a being. Aviana, something like that. The girl that we see in the Burning Crusade raid. So, eventually the guy that's betrayed all the Night Elves... No. You see, this is the problem when you do lore live, you make so many mistakes. Anyways, eventually the story ends up where Kalecgos goes to that raid instance, we help him out, we stop Kil'jaeden from invading our world, and Aviana wasn't really a person, she was the power of the Sunwell, and Aviana, she dropped herself into the well, reigniting it with the core of Muru. Is that correct? I think so. Yeah, Nobbel, you silly, I know, I'm messing up lore. No, I don't think she dropped herself into the well, I think she spent herself trying to stop Kil'jaeden. So yeah, that's the story. Hang on, I'm just gonna chill a little because now I'm messing things up. I bet chat room is like, no, that's not how it happened. Nobbel, do you think engineering will be a major profession in Warlords of Draenor? I don't know, matey. Would be cool. I'm an engineer, so. I like chat room, and still we have 1714 people. Damn! If you can teach a class for 3 hours per week for 18 hours, which part of history would you cover? Plus, may I use some of your YouTube footage in my class? Are you serious? You're planning to teach the history of Warcraft at university? That's awesome, man. Well, yeah, what would I cover? Well, of course you have my permission to show the footage, just as long as you don't copy it and upload it to your own channel, that's perfectly fine. And what would I tell students if I had to teach a class? Awesome. I would go with the Well of Eternity trilogy. That's pretty vast story, and that's could have a couple of seminars. I would go with the original Orc invasion, the original Horde invasion of Azeroth, where the first alliance was formed and they battled against the Horde and they pushed them back to the Draenor, closed the portal behind them. And then I would move on to, yeah, story of Arthas could be a good lecture. I mean, major characters like the story of Thrall and the story of Arthas, those are still stories I need to tell. And those are going to be 3-parters because you just can't tell them in 15 minutes videos, so yeah. But cool, man, that you're going to teach it at a university. Damn. Interesting class topic. Yeah, cool. Why did we go back to Mount Hyjal in the Caverns of Time when there wasn't any infinite dragonflight? Well, I've talked about that in my time travel video, and I don't know. I mean, we didn't see any of the infinite dragonflight there, so there wasn't really a risk of that timeline messing up. But apparently there was a reason to go for it. I think they just wanted to show that raid and needed a way to show it. Hey Nobbel, will Sylvanas break off from the Horde and make her own faction like how the Goblins were before? And yeah, like I said, if you want to figure out what Sylvanas may or may not do, just ask yourself, is this going to make her stay alive? If the answer is yes, then it's a possibility. Nobbel, Tear the Watcher is missing back in Ulduar. Do you have any idea, suspicion of where he might be or what happened to him? From Denmark, with many smiley faces. If I had to make a guess, I would say that he's in Tear's Fall. And if you've read Dawn of the Aspects there, he's fighting against Galagrond. And Galagrond is like corrupted and he gets his hand bitten off, right? So if I had to make a guess, his body was corrupted by that battle. And he died in Tear's Fall and his body is there. But that's just out of the blue my question. Have you ever participated in AQ40? Yes, I have. Nobbel, please help me. The son of Thrall will be green or brown? Thanks a lot. I thought his color was green, if I remember correctly. And then the other one would be brown. Or the other way around. So, yeah, that's it. And Nobbel, are you looking forward to the new Draenei and Blood Elf female character models? Yes. I can't wait. I can't wait to see those new models, they look awesome. Is Karazhan exist in the Emerald Dream? Not as far as I know. No. The Emerald Dream is like Azeroth as it was before the races of Azeroth started messing around with it. Like, if you go to Stormwind, where Stormwind is in our world, and you go to the Emerald Dream, there should just be a land of grass, as the Titans intended it to be. That's the explanation given. Who would you consider the strongest mortal? That depends on the story, really. What they often do in the story is just boost someone's power level in order to overcome great challenges. Like original Malfurion, when he was just little Malfurion, as he was fighting Archimonde. He managed to wrap Archimonde in a leaf. And druid skills are told so awesomely in the novels themselves. They're not those skills that you see in game, no, they're freaking epic. And he managed to actually strangle Archimonde as the little Malfurion guy. So it's always very hard to say who's more powerful because the story boosts or lowers those power levels. Just take Dragon Ball Z for example. I mean, how many times did they have to level up and charge their power before they could overcome something? That's often also what happens in Warcraft. In Nobbel, is Archimonde dead or in the Twisting Nether? We don't know. That's the thing with demons, you never know. My oh my, what a questions. Love you, not gay, see y'all, look my blade. Oh boy. What is the Emerald Dream and what do people do there? Man. I've had this question on my Ask FM for months. What is the Emerald Dream? And it seems like such a simple question, but it really isn't. The simple explanation is the Emerald Dream is like Azeroth, but it's green. Shocking, right? And it's Azeroth before mankind started to mess with things. Before buildings came, pretty much the way that Azeroth was created by the Titans. Now the Titans didn't create or shape Azeroth. We don't know if they created it, but they shaped it. And they didn't shape it in one day, and they didn't shape it in just one setting. So what you get is like the blueprints of what they were doing. So for example, if you're looking at a mountain and a Titan was shaping that mountain, then you have the complete version on top, half a mountain below that in a layer, then just a little stump below that, and then no mountain at all below that. And there's layer upon layer upon layer upon layer until you get to the core, and that's called, I think, like Oblivion or something like that. That's just a place you don't want to end up with. Cenarios told Malfurion, that's a place you want to stay out of. Now that's the basic setting, but what's confusing to me is in the same story where Cenarius tells Malfurion, like, this is Azeroth as the Titans created it. In the same story, Malfurion uses the Emerald Dream to infiltrate the palace of Queen Alexstrasza. So, did the Titans create that castle? Or can you somehow, through the Emerald Dream, infiltrate buildings and stuff like that? So, that's kind of the question. But that's the major, or at least the global lines behind the Emerald Dream. Then you also have the locations of the Green Dragonflight with Ysera, who's been tasked to protect the Emerald Dream and guard it and keep it safe for mankind. And it's connected to the Twisting Nether and the Great Dark. Now the Twisting Nether are like, yeah, the highway of hell, where the demons hang out, where you go through, where you teleport yourself. And the Great Dark is everything that we haven't explored yet. So there you go. The Emerald Dream explained. Hey Nobbel, will we see Kalfuzad ever again? We should. We didn't kill his phylactery, so he should be out there. Nobbel, do you think the Blood Elves Paladins will have a major part? Yep. There should be a major part for them with the lights. Over here! What will happen if we finally kill Sargeras and put an end to the whole universal... Your question's gone, but Oh, evil! What will happen when we kill Sargeras and end all evil in the universe? Then something other evil will pop up and continue the story. Because without lights, there cannot be darkness, and without darkness, there cannot be light. So as long as there are good people, there are bad people. As long as they want to keep the story going, there will be bad guys to kill. Hey Nobbel, do you think in Worlds of Draenor we can create brown orcs? For me, this is an awesome option. Sorry for bad English. I hope so, man. I think it's a great option to get sub-races and customize your character a little bit more. I think that would be fantastic. Hey Nobbel, will we only get new character models for players or for the NPCs as well? I would imagine that they also upgrade the NPCs at the same time. I would imagine that. But I don't know. What happened if you kill a demon in the Twisting Nether? They die. They die completely. How did Garrosh knew about Yashiraj? He sent out goblins to try and find it, and they found it for him. What's the original color of Eredar? Did they look like Manari or Draenei back on Argus? Well, that's a good question. I don't think we've ever seen an unchanged Eredar. Because the Naru influence on the Draenei that influenced them a little. And of course Sargeras influenced the Manari. So, I don't know how they look like. I don't think anyone knows how the original Eredar looked like. That's a good question. I don't know. By the way, I do want to say, if you look on Twitter, and he may not like me promoting him, but who cares? There is one person who works for Blizzard. He's called Lorology over on Twitter. He sometimes answers these questions. And if you have any questions that I can't answer right now, just send him a little tweet when he's on, and you might get lucky and he might answer the question for you. He's a great guy. He's like the fact checker of Blizzard. Awesome person. And yeah, that would be my recommendation. Because, yeah, as I've said before, I don't work for Blizzard, so I can't answer these questions from will they not. Is it true that Kaina killed all the Sun Reavers in Dalaran? Kaina? I don't think so. I don't know who Kaina is. I'm sorry. Hey Nobbel, why is the Naru so important to the Draenei? Well, if you want, you can check out my Velen and Draenei story video. The Naru are the ones who saved the Velen and the Draenei from the corruption by the Burning Legion. They showed up with their spaceship and they took them off the planet of Argus when Sargeras was corrupting their race. So that's why the Naru are so important to them. Nobbel, did you ever read the Dark Knight comics and what happens in it? I did not. I'm sorry. Give your brain a little rest, Nobbel. Oh, did Jaina kill... Oh, did Jaina kill the Sun Reavers? You mean in the Dalaran thing? No. No. What she did was, she killed a few of them. And this is the stuff of discussion which makes it such a beautiful, beautiful story, right? Like, how could Jaina do this? Why did she do this? And in my opinion, Jaina gave the option of either you surrender or you get taken down. And those who decided to fight back got killed. But she did kill a few and she also imprisoned quite a few. And those who are now imprisoned, they haven't really explained what they're doing with those. So I hope they don't forget about them. Maybe they're going to be in the novel, right? There's going to be the novel with Garrosh on trial, everybody's guilty, and maybe they're going to deal it in that book. I hope so. Otherwise, they might just forget about that. So we'll see. And Nobbel, if Tyrellian and Illyria are not on Draenor, where do you think they are? I think they're in the Twisting Nether. And Nobbel, what are you doing on New Year's Eve? Working? Nah, we'll probably go out with the mates and have a little drink. Something like that. Yeah, like I said, guys, I'm not a huge party guy. Party hardy! And Nobbel, why were you go in Dire Mall in Kara? You're awesome, mate, from Christopher Reen from Denmark. Sorry for my bad English. Why was to go in Dire Mall? I believe he was recruiting the ogres there, if I remember correctly. And Nobbel, when did you first get into the lore of Warcraft? The first time was with Lore for Noobs, which Pride made on OMFG Kera with Jesse Cox. And at the same time with the Wrath of the Lich King cinematics. That was what pushed me into the WoW lore. I've read a novel before that. It was kind of good. It was Day of the Dragon, but it didn't push me into lore as that really did. Coffee. Okay guys, it's 10:30. I'm going to do 30 minutes more. I hope I get to all your questions, and if not, damn, we got a lot of people here. We might do this again soon. Someday. Hopefully. Damn. Let's see. And Nobbel, what do you think about the Zandalari trolls and their thirst for rebuilding their old great empire? They used to rule Azeroth. Oh, there's also another question. Am I in a relationship? I am not, my friend. I'm not made for relationships. And I think Shadows of the Horde, the Vol'jin story, tells that story brilliantly. Like, the Zandalari stuck with their mindset in the days of old, where they were the ones who ruled Azeroth, and they just can't let go. Some trolls among the Zandalari, among the other trolls, realize that the times have changed, that they no longer are that empire. Especially trolls like Vol'jin and stuff like that. So there are some amongst them who realize that and who try to adapt. But there are also others who are just stuck to those ways and they feel like we are entitled to this world while it's been millennia since we ruled it. So yeah, it's quite an interesting story and I hope they're going to do more with it. I really enjoyed that book. Could you possibly do a series on troll lore, like go from tribe to tribe? I'll put it on the list. Yeah. And Nobbel, who is the king of trolls? That's Rastakhan, and why hasn't he started on a rampage? Because a lot of trolls died and later him up. I don't know much about troll lore. Greetings from Finland. If we gotta believe what she called Lore Walker Cho, then King Rastakhan's island slowly sinking into the sea. So he's kind of stuck there. And yeah, that's the reason given. Over here, read me! Do you think there is Nafrazim origin world and will we visit it? Greets from Zimbabwe. Wow. Zimbabwe result. Cool. Greetings. There should be a planet of the Nafrazim, yeah. There should be a home planet, we just haven't seen it yet. Hey Nobbel, what do you think? Will Rexxar find a true place amongst the Horde? I think our Rexxar is too much of a wanderer. If you remember what he said to Thrall in the Warcraft 3 campaign, I mean, he will always be there for the Horde. He just isn't the type to sit around in the city and sit on his hands. So he already has his place within the Horde. He just doesn't show up every time. Yeah. As Kairos is helping Garrosh, do you think the other aspects will get involved in Warlords of Draenor? P.S. Love you. Love you too, buddy. Will we see the other aspects? Maybe. I mean, Nosdormu has a high chance of being involved because his mate supposedly dies. And if anything sets off an aspect, that's a mate dying. That really gets on the nerves. So yeah, it's very possible. We'll see. And Nobbel, what would you think if Blizz names an NPC after you in the upcoming expansion? That would be brilliant. Will you ever do a Lily and Voss lore video? The request guys for possible lore videos, will you, may you? Pretty much everything's on the list. If it's not, you can always send me a message on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, AskFM, whatever you want to do, and I'll put it on the list. Nobbel, is there any story behind the corrupted Ashbringer? Yep. If you, I'm going to upload this one to YouTube, and if you watch it back, I've covered that story. Most powerful characters I can't tell you, the story requires them to be powerful. Okay, tell the story about Sourfang? Not really. As far as I know, Sourfang, yeah, he was just a badass, you know, fighting in all the wars. Then we saw him in Icecrown where he was pretty damn badass. He's just a Horde favorite, pretty much. Hey Nobbel, please tell me where the trolls are from. Well, as far as I know, trolls are just one of those races that popped up out of existence. Not every one of them has an origin story like humans. We know that they descended from, I believe they're called the Vrykul. Those in Northrend that discarded their weak babies, those turned into humans. We have the gnomes who descended from mechagnomes. But other races just popped up out of existence, and I believe trolls are one of those races. Just poof, hello, we're here. Illyria and Sylvanas, what do you think about that reunion? Oh man. Well, I speculated about this before in my Illyria and Cerulean video, and in my opinion, look at those people dancing. In my opinion, if there's one person that can push Sylvanas off the path of that she's currently on, right? That's that Lich King evil story thing, then it's Illyria. So I think that should be a reunion. Or she could be the one that pushes her just over the edge. Like, oh my god, sister, you're dead. You're dead to me. And then Sylvanas like, no. And then she goes completely evil. It's a possibility. Alrighty, what else do we have? I heard that Night Elves descended from trolls. You heard correctly. It's heavily speculated, but not confirmed as far as I know. Hey, Nobbel, big fan. Do you believe that Illidan still is alive? And do you think we will meet the Burning Legion or Deathwing in Warlords of Draenor? From Konguzuna? Alright. I hope that Illidan's still alive, and I hope that he's in the Twisting Nether, but that's just a hope, I don't know. We shouldn't see Deathwing in Warlords of Draenor, and we might see a little bit about the Burning Legion, but the problem with getting that Burning Legion in there is that you're going to have doubles, right? We're going to have 2 Kill Jadens, we're going to have 2 Sargerasuses. So, are they going to open up that can of worms? I'm not sure. Do you think that Arthas can be revived to serve the Scourge again? Love you, no homo, no very homo, heart icon. It's always possible. You know, everything can come back from the dead, but it also is a question of should they? And I think Arthas' story is done, man. He's currently in hell. If you've read Sylvana's short story, Edge of Night, he's there, in hell, serving his punishment. So I think he's done. Cake or cookies? Appelflappen. I just told you where the trolls are from. I'm just checking questions. Oh, and Nobbel, please answer. Is there any chance StarCraft and Warcraft is in the same universe? There are beings in StarCraft that are described the same way as old gods. And he has like a toilet paper icon and a skeleton. I don't think they are connected. No. I don't think Diablo is connected to StarCraft, is connected to Warcraft. They might have a similar story because, well, the story department isn't really original. But I don't think they're connected. But it's just my interpretation. So yeah. Is he Dutch or Belgium? He's Dutch. How did you come up with the idea to make WoW videos? I came up with the idea because you have to understand I've been playing since Classic, on and off with a couple of breaks in between. And at some point I was watching WoW Hops. This was during War of the Lich King. And he was doing these WoW Hops way of pulling videos where he was boosting people through dungeons, he was soloing stuff. And I figured to myself, that's awesome, man. I want to do stuff like that. So I decided to do it. And when I started doing it, I figured to myself, you know, people might get a couple of tips out of this. People might need... I'm sorry. I figured to myself that other people can also do this. The same stuff that I can do. They might need a couple of tips, might need a couple of pointers. But in the end, this should be perfectly fine. So I decided to make solo guides, upload those to YouTube. And before that, I did a couple of guild events. You can still check them on my channel, by the way. But that was just for me, and those solo guides were for others. The Mist of Pandaria hit, we got the beta, and then there was the speculation about Fedamore destroyed. And there was a whole bunch of speculation back then. Was it going to be destroyed? What's going to happen to Jaina? So I made a lore video about that. People were interested in it, and it just started to roll on from there. What do you think will happen if we kill a Titan? Greetings from Norway. What will happen when we kill a Titan? Popcorn comes out and confetti, and we have a party in his blood, and we smear our faces, and we get his divine powers. I don't know, mate. It's never happened before. And I will please fill me with lore. Why Lorfamar wears an eye patch? Apparently that was... And he made a little eye patch icon. Apparently that was because of the Scourge invasion, but I can't tell you the details, my friend. Why was Anduin on a ship to Pandaria? The White Pawn. That question bothered me for so long. And they finally tweeted the answer, and it's really simple. He was on his way to Velen, and he was on his way to the Draenei. That's why he was on that ship. And it might be a crappy explanation, but at least it's an explanation. I'm happy that they gave it. If you check out my Twitter, I've got it in my favorites, and you should be able to see the tweet. But they at least gave an answer for it. Read me, I love your videos and happy for you, and you're happy from Patrick E. Jensen from Denmark. P.S. Really like the WoW lore because of you. Glad to hear, mate. Frostmourne hungers. I would like to work for Blizzard, yep. Will there be an Arthur's lore video? Yep. At some point. I can't give you dates because the way that I work with the lore is I want to keep it is that the right word for it? Actual? I want to keep it relevant, right? I want to keep it connected to what we're currently speculating about, like World of the Draenor, and that's what I've been doing for the last few months, like trying to speculate, get those stories ready. So Arthas isn't really relevant at the moment, but it would be an awesome story to tell. So it will come, I just can't give you a date. Greetings from Latvia. Oh, Latvia. Greetings, my friend. Do you think we will see in the future the ogre continent in Draenor? Yep. Nobbel, I have a question. Well, then you should post your question. Embas, Wallace of Draenor. My guess would be Kairos Dormu. Is there lore for soulbound items? Yes, they truly bind to your soul, and every time you vendor them, you lose a piece of your soul. No, there's no real lore. It's a game mechanic. Nobbel, do you think Sylvanas Windrunner has the Frostmourne shards? Lore-wise, she showed up. If you read Edge of Night, that's her short story on the WoW website, free to read. Excellent story, go read it. It's amazing. But she shows up after all the events of Wrath of the Lich King, after Bolvar is already in ice. So I would assume that they've already cleaned up those shards and that they're out of her reach, but I can't say for certain. What came first, Titans imprisoning the Old Gods, or Sargeras becoming the leader of the Burning Legion? Also, who do you think is the most powerful? I'm interested, but I couldn't find anything about it. So, did we imprison the Old Gods, or did... Oh, that's easy. Sargeras left Pantheon before they reached Azeroth, so he left it before they imprisoned the Old Gods. And oh, can I hug you? No, but for cereal. I'm being super cereal. If you've seen that South Park episode, it was awesome. I'm lost on Jaina Proudmore's opinion on the Horde. She snapped when Hellscream bombed her, but where and what is her opinion on the Horde now? Love your videos, keep them up. Good question, and I can't wait for the novel to be released to get a new insight in her mind. What I could gather from that final cinematic after the siege is that she now blames all the Horde for what happened to her. All the Horde stood at Garrosh's side, and she now wants to see the Horde dismantled. That didn't happen, and if you talk to her, she says it was a mistake, we should have kept fighting, we should have dismantled and taken this opportunity. From that information, I would say that she doesn't like the Horde, obviously, and where the story goes from there, well, that's anyone's guess, really. I would imagine Jaina starting a new war. Like, haha, see, I'm right. The Horde can't be trusted, we're fighting again. And it doesn't even have to mean that the Horde starts to fight. It could also come from the Alliance side, just that peace is never possible between Horde and Alliance. And in that, she's right. It's not called World of Warcraft for nothing. Well, we'll see where they take the story. Nobbel, do you know what snowmen eat for breakfast? Frosted flakes! Are the ogres and Gron related? Huh. Interesting. You would imagine that they're like a de-evolution from each other, like Gron and then devolved into ogres. But as far as I know, the only connection between them is from our timeline. The Gron enslaved the ogres, right? The ogres didn't like working for the Gron. And that's why they teamed up with the Horde. I don't think there's a connection, or at least a relation between them. And Nobbel, do you perhaps know more about the Demon Hunter which randomly pops up in Pandaria? Greetings from the Netherlands. I do not. I didn't even know that there was a Demon Hunter who randomly popped up. Is this video recorded for later viewing? Yes, if everything goes to plan, I'll upload this to YouTube once we're done here. Hey Nobbel, is there a difference between Shadow and Meta Magic? Can a Titan be raised into Undeath? We don't know if a Titan can be raised in Undeath, at least not as far as I know. And there's a difference as in the source of your power. Like mages? No, that's not correct. I mean Nether Magic. Do you mean Fel Magic? Because if that's the case, then yeah. I mean Fel Magic comes from the Twisted Nether, and Shadow Magic comes from the Dark Side of the Light, if I got it correctly. But please don't quote me on that one. Let's see. Read and you get cookies. Hey Nobbel, what is an Ankirai now? We cleared it completely, but what is there now? Or do you think Blizzard will reuse it? The corpse of Kafun is still there. If you read the comics, at one point Medan gets kidnapped by Cho'Gall. And Cho'Gall's trying to resurrect Kafun, so he's still there, the corpse at least. So there's always some source of old god power beneath Ankirai. Will they ever use it? Who knows? Could you please tell me why I don't raid Nobbel? Yeah, I covered it in the latest video, matey. For me, the thrill of a new kill died with killing a Farian in Blackwing Lair. And after that, I either became too passionate about raiding and I started giving up real life again, or I became an asshole of a raid leader because people were not doing what I was hoping they would do, or I became bored and I stopped raiding. What's the difference between the Twisting Nether and the Great Void? The Great Void, isn't that a different term for the Great Dark? If that's the case, then the Great Dark is the term they used for everything unexplored, and the Twisting Nether is like the area where the demons hang out. It's what they use for portals. It's what you travel through if you take a teleportation spell. So yeah. Oh, by the way, we might do a WoW Trivial Pursuit soon. I'm not gonna give details in case it doesn't go through, but damn, doing this podcast is getting me ready for it. Or podcast. Look at me talking, live stream. Good going, brain. Do you know how the Forsaken joined the Horde? I covered that in the latest Q&A, mates. Will we be able to make brown orcs? We don't know. I hope so. Ooh, who's the guy on the mob loading screen? Isn't that the Mogu guy from Mokshan Palace? I thought... No, he looked kind of different. I think it's just a standard Mogu picture. Yeah. When do you think we will face Sargeras? Either... when I hope that they're going to make a new Warcraft game. Like a new RTS. Because a battle against Sargeras, that would be just so more epic if you do it in RTS. All those little troops on the field, it would look just grander than it would look in-game. If they're ever going to do a Sargeras battle, then it would be the final expansion. Because Sargeras right now, he's the end boss. Would it be possible to fight Sargeras? Because he would be in Warlords of Draenor, because it would be 30 years. Wow, true. You people know too much. Anyways, the question was, would it be possible to fight Sargeras with Warlords of Draenor? And anything is possible, but I don't see it happening because it would make it so lame. I mean, we already fought Sargeras back then, and then 30 years later he would be more powerful, yada yada yada. And don't forget that Sargeras of Ironhorde Draenor, his spirit should be inside of Medivh at the time. So yeah. Hi. How Dutch are you? Ik ben extreem Nederlands, sorry. Is there a giant snake on the Zuldrak? No idea. Question, why did the Titans think that killing USA... What? Oh, killing the... Oh, that wasn't the USA, I'm sorry. Sorry. Killing the old gods would destroy the world. We have killed multiple gods by now, and we didn't destroy anything. Well... As far as I know, and I understand the lore, and when it comes to Titan Old Gods, it always changes, but the way that I get it is that they killed Yasharaj. And what happened when they did, he did his final breath attack, infected the land, and we had all these little Shah pop up whenever somebody felt bad, right? That's what happened. So imagine that happening all over the world. Make the planet uninhabitable, and it would pretty much destroy the planet, so that would be no good. So they imprisoned the old gods, and what we did wasn't kill the old gods, we just pushed back their manifestation back into their prison. And they're still out there. I mean, Kafun isn't dead. Yaksharan, we don't have a confirmation, but he should still be out there. And Yasharaj is the only one who was fully absorbed by Garrosh. But he was already sliced until he was nothing left but a heart. So, yeah, we didn't actually kill old gods, and that's my interpretation as in why they can't kill old gods. Do you know anything about Star Wars lore? Nope. How powerful do you think our characters are lore-wise? P.S. I don't know if you answered this because... Oh, that's Optimus Online is screwing me over. Lore-wise, our characters are like the assistants. Whenever we get into the story, if we even get into the story, it's often hero like Kalik plus adventurers, or Varian and adventurers. So we are not assigned with a power level, we are just heroes. And our power level is as high as the story calls for. Why did Garrosh... Oh damn, it's going too fast again. Oh, so that's how you know Shadow. Oh, okay, cool. I didn't know Bay was in the Fat Boss stream. Awesome, man. I didn't know. What status do the heroes have in Azeroth society? We are hero status. I mean, in reality, we shouldn't even exist, and sometimes they give us a part in the story, like I just said, hero plus adventurer. But in society, we shouldn't really exist. Hey, Mr. Final Boss TV, welcome. Now we're talking about the Trivial Pursuit. Do you think that Illidan will ever come back? I hope so. If you were to decide what comes after Warlords of Draenor, what would be the expansion about? Ooh, that's a good question. I was first really like Burning Legion, that's gonna be awesome. But then I dug a little deeper into the Naga and the Zoth lore. They also have something going on for them. So I'm gonna go with the Dark Below Watery expansion. I want to see that happen. What happened with Tyrion Fordring? I believe he's chilling in his fortress in the Plaguelands. Why and how did the Ashbringer become corrupt? Because the son betrayed the father and then it became corrupted. What do you know about the Book of Gul'dan? Not much. Did Gul'dan have a book? Huh. Oh, I must apologize, chat. This must be awful for you. Trying to spam your question, getting it in. Next time I'm just going to get a list ready. I think that would be better. Although this is also fun. It's like a lottery, man. Who's gonna get their question answered next? 9 minutes. Let's see. Gratis oliebollen voor iedereen die binnen een uur. Awesome. Oh. Hey Nobbel, can you tell me some lore about Doomlord Kazakh? Is really bad explained on Wowpedia. Well, that's because Doomlord Kazakh also has a bad story in game. I think everything you've read on Wowpedia, that's about it. I think he just popped up, used an item to reopen a dark portal, and that's about it. Who's your favorite YouTube personality? Wow, that's a good question. I mean, I like a lot of them. I've mentioned before Jesse Cox, Dodger, Total Biscuit. I really like Griffin from Slightly Impressive. I really like his machinima and his humor. Silver Latomi for music is awesome. Didi Guides is a great guy for opinionated videos, a little bit about lore. You have Preach, who's doing a great job. I watch so many people on YouTube, man. It's incredible. And somebody's asking if I'm going to work together with Pride. Not sure yet. I mean, there were plans. Haven't heard from him again. Maybe, maybe not. Do you think we might reactivate one of the portals Ner'zhul activated and explore the planets on the other side? That's always a possibility. What's your favorite weapon and armor set? I don't really have a favorite weapon. And the armor set is Judgment set for the Paladin. I use for my Transmog. Hey Nobbel, love you in your videos, you made me love WoW, and gone was your question. When the Burning Legion returns, will Bolvar and the new Lich King help us? I hope so, would be awesome. Okay, somebody was replying to my previous answer of Lordaeron that nearly all the people died. And he said that there's still a couple of people around in Outland and maybe they should have a right to Lordaeron. But then still the argument stands that might is right in World of Warcraft. And let's face it, the Forsaken have conquered the city. I mean, you can want it back and you might want to fight a war over it, but okay, then you have it back and then what? It's a rotten city. It's destroyed. So yeah. If there were new races to join the Horde and Ally, what would you guess that they would be? High Elves Alliance, Ogres Horde, I mean, we get all these new ogre skins. I'm really surprised that they didn't went with a new ogre race, to be honest. Naga are a no-go. I don't see Naga joining the Alliance. Maybe the Horde. Maybe. But then again, they also have old gods behind them, so don't see that. What do you think the game Project Titan would be about? Will it be in the Blizzard universe? Will it refer to the Titans, like in World of Warcraft? I have no idea, mate. They've postponed that for so long now. It's anyone's guess what it really is. And I hope it's going to tell the story of the Titans. Maybe it's a new MMO set back in the days where the Titans came to Azeroth and formed the land and the early races. Who knows? I hope so. Will Medivh be on Draenor? No. Why did the Titans choose to empower the dragons if they were cursed with flesh? Or has there ever been stone drakes aside from Deepholm as they elemental plane? If my question's been answered, I've been lagged too much. Sorry. Well, the Titans didn't exactly have anything against things with flesh. That's not the problem. It does make you a little bit more... you need to understand that the old gods, they had the curse of flesh on the Titans created things, right? Like the dwarves with the curse of flesh, they changed into beings with flesh. This made them vulnerable for corruption. But it doesn't mean that the Titans exactly had anything against things with flesh. And they saw that these dragons had potential. They worked together against Galagron. So, yeah, they decided to make them guardians. What is the meaning of life? The meaning of life is that there is no meaning except the one that you create for it. That's your mission. Try to find your own meaning of life. If you want to have a family, go have a family. If you want to be rich, get rich. You want to see the world, let that be your meaning of life. Do you think the dragons will ever get the power again and get the fertility, immortality? Fertility? Did they lose their fertility? Really? Oh, I hope not. But it's always possible that they get their powers back. Hang on. So, alrighty. 3 more minutes, let's see. What do you do for work? I currently work with the YouTube and sometimes also do part-time work. I have a diploma on MBO level. As an, we call it sociale dienstverlening. So it's kind of like a social server worker, but it's also very broad. So I could work as a guy who could give you a money from the government. I could help you find a job. I could help you all kinds of things. I could help you because I always knew I wanted to help people. So I got that diploma. I've done the HBO education for nurse. Yeah, verpleger. Didn't finish it because I found out that being a guy in the nursing gig, I was working in the thuiszorg. So that means that you go to the old people their own homes. As a male, people don't always appreciate that. So as much as I loved the job, as much as I enjoyed helping people, the people didn't want to get helped by me. And once I decided to quit with that, the whole YouTube thing started to roll. Do you think we will see Broxigar in the next expansion? I hope so. And he shouldn't have the extra scenarios, that's our thing. So with King Tyrannus II's crown. Yeah, the bloody crown. D3. Hey Nobbel, do you think pirates have their own faction leader, or do all pirates just simply have their own captains? Yo ho. I hope to have a leader like Captain Blackbeard. That would be awesome. What do you think is in the Forbidden Sea? Would imagine us off. Hey Nobbel, have you seen the NPC in Tanaris? He says that the old gods are good and more powerful. I saw this NPC in Wrath, so they could have removed it. Oh, there are some people, like the Twilight Hammer clan, who believe that the old gods are good. Could the infinite dragonfly be infected with the Shah? I highly doubt it. Shah is a Pandaria thing. It's possible, but yeah. Will the item squish? Do you think all profession items will be viable again? No. Items should just all scale down. So old items should still be viable for old levels, while the new items are for the new levels. What's the difference between shadow form and light form on the priest? Yeah, I'm not sure. I think they are two sides of the coin. What's Nobbel's opinion about Heroes of the Storm? Looks cool. Can't wait to play it. What do you think is within the building that is... Oh, too fast, too fast, too fast. Oh boy. Yeah, I know, bae. I did a mod you, matey. We should do this again when it's a little bit quieter. They can actually mod you. Oh, hang on. 1 more minute. Okay, let's go really fast. Are you going to the Dutch YouTube gathering or first look? I have no idea what it is, but it sounds cool, maybe. Do you think they will add in a sort of battleground system for garrisons? Nope, they said that they wouldn't make it fightable. Do you think we might... Oh, that's too fast. Why do... Hey Nobbel, do you think we might see the making of Frostmourne? Or no, I would like to know what it's made out of. Good question, no idea. Hey Nobbel, what happened to demon hunters? They went crazy and died. Hey Nobbel, in the War of the Ancients book, and talk about the first one. Oh damn, what is... That was too fast. Android or iPhone? Neither. Jesus. It's going too fast. Guys, I'm so sorry, but it's 11 o'clock. I'm going to shut it down. Who do you think will be the end boss? I've answered that one. Garrosh Dormu. Can you do the lore for the spirit healers? Gas of Drop. I would have to go with Gas. Okay guys, I'm calling it quits. I've done my best in 3 hours. Oh, enough questions. Is this really chat on slow? Because this is just bizarre. It really is. Look at the chat go, holy shit. What do you think about me? I think you're all incredible. I really do. And I think it's awesome that you showed up in such huge numbers. I did not count on this. I was planning to do, you know, a little bit of farming, a little bit of leveling. Oh, oh well. I have one more apple flop. I'm just gonna enjoy the apple floppy. Hi. You know, I had a question one day on Ask FM for a name for the group. Like Dodger has her little Doritos, final bosses like the mobs and minions, but I just can't think of a name. The Nobles? Yeah, that sounds meh. Oh, we're the Nobles. Yeah, no. Good night, everyone. Yeah, great stream, guys. Thank you all for showing up and asking questions, showing interest. The Noblets. The Noblets. Yeah, we gotta keep working on that name, guys. Good night, everyone. Wel trusten. Auf Wiedersehen. Ciao, ciao. Guten Tag. Bon voyage.